Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lesmeries joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Dery here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Friday edition of the program. Both the boys with you for the next three. Loaded up. 10 TVs. Jeff Hogan going to stop by at 9:30, just a half hour from now. And yeah, you heard that right. He's coming home. He is coming home. He'll join us at 9:30 on the details on that. 10 o'clock, what we learned this week. 10:30, Doug will stop by. We are inching closer, I think, and some interesting stuff that came out of that Big Ten Network Open practice yesterday. I thought Jake Butt had some really interesting insight into Ohio State's offense and what they could use. Not shocking, local guy. That was really cool to see, and I thought he was pretty locked into everything there. 11 o'clock, two-a-days. We are in the NFC North on that side of things. So this is what it was like watching it. And I'm not a Bengals fan, but I'm a Joe Burrow fan. I was nervous as hell. I was absolutely nervous as hell. Every time he wasn't in harm's way. But the whole time I'm watching him last night, I'm just thinking to myself, what are we doing this? I know why they're doing it. I know about the 1-11. I know this idea of you gotta get hit to know how to play and all of these things. But I am watching the most important. I mean, there are a handful of guys in that league who are absolutely irreplaceable. And Burrow is one of them. And from a position player standpoint, Jamar Chase is one of them. I mean, he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the National Football League, and I'm watching them play last night, and the whole time I'm watching it, Jamar hits that one where they kind of underthrow it, and he turns it up and scores, and the whole time he's running, I'm just saying, don't shift into fifth. Just stay in fourth gear, dude. Just chill. Somebody gets near you, just run out of bounds. Like, I know that there is this feeling from some people that they got to see the ones play this time. I'm not that guy. I'm not. I don't need it. I don't want it. Every coach is trying to figure out what to do with these preseason games. There's a wide array of thought on what to do with them. And you're seeing it, and you saw it play out last night. That was my experience watching it. As you guys were taking it in, or certainly if you read about it or saw the highlights this morning, what was your experience watching Burrow?
I had fun. I was entertained. Like, I'm, again, a Browns fan, understanding that Joe Burrow asked for this. Jamar Chase asked for this.
I know they did, but it's like your kids. Like sometimes Bootsy asks for 16 bars of chocolate. I don't always say yes.
Yeah, but
he'll be a diabetic by the time he's 12.
In this instance, they're not my children. They're not really my responsibility. Fair. You know, I had fun. I thought this was meaningful football. For the first time in a long time with the preseason, you gave a rip on a Thursday night, week one of the preseason. Do the similar thing as a Browns fan tonight. But it also showed how much the Cincinnati, and if they didn't already know this, man, you need Joe Burrow, and as he goes, that team goes, because Jake Browning's not it. And they also need Trey Hendrickson for that defense, because it's like, sure. I saw on my Twitter timeline, can we fire Lou Anarumo again? So you had a lot of things.
There's no one else to fire.
You had a lot of things that you knew, like you gleaned from last night's game, if you're a Bengals fan, that you can fix in the two preseason games that you've got, Washington, I think, and then their preseason finale before that September 7th game against the Browns. So I think from a Cincinnati Bengals standpoint, you were thrilled. There was at one point a rusher came free, but he let up before he got to Burrow. And so I do think there was, from the Philadelphia Eagles standpoint, an understanding that we're not going to try to kill the guy tonight.
Too.
So
yeah. That was cool. I like that. That I appreciate.
It all worked, I thought.
Which the Baltimore Ravens defensive end who came running free when the tackle just let him go did not.
No, what if that's Burrow? I mean, it's Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
If you didn't know what happened last night, Anthony Richardson broke a finger on his hand.
It went to a 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
There's
which so did the Ravens cornerback's knee.
ooh.
Yeah.
That was awful.
That was, yeah.
I enjoyed watching those first two drives. And listen, I went into that game. Could they get hurt? Absolutely. But guess what? The Chargers just lost their best offensive lineman in a practice yesterday for the year.
No doubt.
So
quarterbacks, though, in practice, Bake, to be fair, quarterbacks in practice are so protected.
You're right. They don't get touched.
They don't let them near them. Like, if you touch a guy, go run.
They don't get touched. But listen, there is something to, I believe, and I know, Bo, you said there's no proof or stats backing this, but I believe there's something to a quarterback getting live bullets and helping him get in rhythm for the season. And if Joe Burrow wanted to do it, let Joe Burrow do it, quite frankly. And that Bengals offense, I don't know if there's one better in the NFL than that one. But as good as that Bengals offense is, that defense might be equally worse or worse than how good their offense is. Like, it is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Will Shipley looked like Saquon Barkley in that first drive. And I think Will Shipley's a hell of a player.
He's a nice player.
But he ain't Saquon Barkley.
No.
And they just made him look untouchable. I have a total
80s Dolphins.
It really is.
That's what they are.
I was thinking
I
of
worry
that.
about Joe. That being, I mean, listen to me. I say I worry about that being Joe's career. That's a gold jacket career. If he has Dan Marino's career, he's going to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. Mm-hmm. And I was about ready to say I worry about him having Dan Marino's career. Dan Marino goes to the Super Bowl year 1, 1984, doesn't get back. Throws for a ton of yards. It's fun. Teams are exciting, but doesn't get back. And I worry about that because I'm with you. I mean, clearly their offense is the best and the most dangerous in the league. If those guys stay healthy, there's no stopping. I actually think the depth of some of their receiving depth is going to show out this year too. So
what about tight end? You just picked up Noah Fant.
I know it. Yeah, it's just. I mean, they're going to score in the 30s. It's can they hold people to 31 if they score 34? That's kind of going to be the approach.
And it's a two-edged sword, Bo, because with the defense they have, they need an offense that controls the ball and slows the game down, and that is not what they have. They have a fast break offense. Jamar Chase is so good, it's not even funny. And Joe Burrow's the same way, but they need an offense to, like, ground and pound you and grind out the clock and keep that defense off the field.
You know what it's going to come down to, guys? This is what it is. Their defense, and Al Golden's the D coordinator there. He was D coordinator at Notre Dame most recently. Their defense needs 2 or 3 red zone possessions, maybe even 2 red zone possessions defensively, where they hold, where you think you're getting a touchdown and it ends up a field goal, or you get a turnover. That's what they need. They are not stopping anybody. So what it's going to come down to is, there's going to be 3 or 4 times a game that are necessary for Trey Hendrickson to get home and get a strip sack fumble on or to get a sack on a third down, get a strip sack fumble. They need a couple of those a game. 1 or 2 is what they need because they are just going to get pounded. I mean, like, the Ravens are going to go right at them, and it's going to be a shootout. Now, the good news is they have the artillery to fire right back. And I'll just say this, as an observer, what I would want out of my team is for them to do everything in their power to win a Super Bowl. And in the meantime, I want you to be fun. And Cincinnati Bengals fans are going to have a lot of fun this year. That offense is going to be fun. So if we're going to lose some, it's more fun for me to lose 35-31 than 13-16. So at least I'm going to have fireworks. And that's what you're going to have in Cincinnati, is you're going to have absolute fireworks. We're going to have some fireworks tonight, and we'll get into this at greater detail coming up at 10:20. Shedeur Sanders is going to get his start. He's going to make his NFL debut. It is very rare for a rookie fifth-round pick to be given this type of opportunity. He is a fifth-round pick, and he is going to start tonight. Now, the reason he's starting is because, quite honestly, you were never going to play Joe Flacco in a game like this. That's the way that they view it. And Kenny Pickett probably wasn't going to play either, but he's out of it because of a hamstring. By the way, keep an eye on that. He hasn't done anything full in 2 weeks. So as those days start to stack, there could come a point where it gets late early for them with him. The intent, I think, was always to start him. I've said that all summer. The intent was to start him. But if this injury continues to linger, pay attention if you don't see him next week in Philly doing 11-on-11 work. if he's not doing that in their joint practices, then I don't see a scenario where he could get healthy enough to be able to start at the beginning of the season. So that's something to really watch there. And then Dylan Gabriel didn't do 11 on 11 either because he has a hammy. So if Gabriel were healthy, he would start. He's not. And so Shedur's going to get this opportunity. And I think he's going to play a ton. I think he'll play into the fourth. I think as long as he's healthy, he'll keep playing. And I think Kevin will put him in a good position to succeed.
Well, as the Browns' de facto general manager here in Columbus, I just wanted to ask, why do you hate Shedeur Sanders so much that you're giving him this opportunity?
Boy, this is...
What? I don't even understand. Made my head spin yesterday. Like, they hate Shedeur Sanders. Like, no, they don't. They're giving a fifth-round pick a chance to start a preseason game. There's only 3 preseason games.
I think that was... I don't understand how you got into that mental gymnastics to, like, they
because Carolina's playing their ones. They won 5 games last season.
Well, now they're going to sabotage him. What? What are you talking about? I would say to watch for Shedeur tonight from a Browns fan perspective, or to listen to it here on ESPN Columbus. That coverage starts at 5 o'clock. Tyvis will be on that coverage. What I'll be looking for tonight with him is operationally, is it sound? Are we in and out of the huddle on time? Are we running the right stuff when we need to run the stuff? Because as I've said, like he's learning how to play NFL quarterback in real time. So he's a kid who quite honestly would benefit tremendously if what we always talked about the UFL being a developmental league, he would benefit tremendously from that. Tremendously. And he's going to, here's the thing, he can throw the football. He's got a natural touch. He's got a natural ability to layer the football. He is a natural thrower of the football. But what does that look like tonight? So, I mean, it's going to be the most watched preseason game of the whole slate for sure. And look forward to seeing what it looks like. I'm as excited as anybody just to see what the operation looks like. And we'll have more on that coming up at 10:20. Coming up next, the Buckeyes could have a very big weekend and a very big week next week. We'll give you the details on that. And something Jake Butt, local guy, had some really interesting comments, and I think prescient ones on what this Buckeye offense could do and the problems that it could have for others. We're off and running on a Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
When it comes time to replace the roof over your head, you need a name you can trust. Newman Roofing. Don't just take our word for it. Here's our friend Cindy.
We were very happy with our experience, and we would highly recommend Newman to anybody we talk to.
Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Let me ask you something. Is your money doing everything it can for you?
I don't know. How would I know?
Is it automatically saving for special events and keeping you posted on its progress? Like at Huntington Bank?
Oh, no.
Is it tracking your spending so you can make the best choices at the mall?
Nope.
Or setting limits on your teenager's debit card?
Definitely not.
Then it could certainly be doing more.
Yeah, sure sounds like it.
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
At United Dairy Farmers, Peach is our most popular ice cream. Although it's only here for a short time, we sell more of it than any other flavor. And once you taste it, you'll know why it wins the popularity contest. We make it from scratch by mixing in the juice from our hand-selected peaches and big chunks of fruit. That's what gives it that unique peachier flavor. And that might also explain why peach season at UDF doesn't last long. UDF Peach Ice Cream, made for you.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because we know in making the most of your home, DIY doesn't just stand for do it yourself. It also means dream it yourself. And we're here to help protect the dreams you're building. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Burnt out, foggy, running on caffeine and willpower? It's time for a reset. Hydrate Me Med Spa brings next-level wellness to Central Ohio with medical-grade IV drips, NAD Plus for brain and energy support, and ozone therapy to detox at the cellular level. This isn't just self-care, it's a system upgrade. Feel sharper, sleep deeper, perform better. Now open in Dublin, Grandview, New Albany, and Granville. Book your drip at hydratememedspa.com.
I have a buddy who's going to be popping the question soon. He's planning everything out. He asked me, can you help me out with the ring? I said, of course I can. I've got a guy, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Now you talk, Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace. I'm your guy.
Go in, see my friends at Worthington Jewelers. Tell them I sent you, and you'll get the true VIP experience.
I'll treat them better than I treat you.
That's not hard. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged. And tell them Common Man sent you.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that Common Man is stupid. Good news. We fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday. We are seeing plenty of sunshine in your forecast with temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies with our overnight lows in the 60s. Can't rule out a stray shower, though, although most of us today will stay dry. For your Saturday, we'll see plenty of sunshine and even warmer with highs getting into the low 90s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 Weather Impact forecast.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
I told you guys I'm a lunatic with this stuff, with this college football access stuff that's going on right now, and we're getting bombarded with it. There's so much of it. There's all access stuff every night with the ACC teams on ACC Network. There's all access with the SEC teams on SEC Network, and Big Ten's going their tailgate tour. They were at Penn State a couple of days ago. They were Rutgers on Wednesday, and they were at Ohio State yesterday. And you just get a lot of really good access with it. I'm certainly not a cheerleader for the Big Ten Network, but I think in this instance, if you're interested in what's going on in these programs, and certainly at the top of the league and who the challengers could be, where the weaknesses are, you're getting it. And one of the best things they have going for them is Jake Butt. I mean, he's a star in the making, local kid, made good, and he had a breakdown kind of what Ohio State is doing offensively. I'm just going to read this from his Twitter because I think it was incredible insight that he had and very, very accurate. Quote, obviously the QB battle. Different guys. Julian, more pure passer, felt he was more accurate, technical, operating the offense today. Lincoln is a bigger, stronger athlete. When he pulled the ball in read option, you get to see a special athlete in space. Maybe we see both because of the complementary skills, question mark. Both getting reps with the ones. Not concerned about that position. Either guy will be fine. This echoes what we said last week when we were out at practice, which is whichever one you're picking, you're making a choice. Because stylistically, they're very different players. If it's Julian, then it's CJ, Dwayne type of offense. If it's Lincoln, it's Will, Justin type of offense. Now, the cool thing is Ryan can do both, and we can thrive at both. But the other part, and I think this is where you end up with, I think most of us think it'll end up being Julian, is that accuracy technical part. Because it's not just the quarterback, it's also what everybody else is on that offense. And a guy that you're going to love is Max Clare. So this is, again, from Jake, and this is something that I can tell you proves true very much in the video game. I don't know what defenses will be able to do to stop the offense. You have to play split safety to slow down the wide receivers, but I watched Claire create separation with ease. Thurman is a problem to deal with because of his size. So do you have a linebacker try and guard them with no safety help? That can't be the game plan, in my opinion. Too good. Claire is a different talent than Ohio State has had at that position, and the room is the deepest that it's been. So that, to me, offensive skill position talent on the edges, the tight end ability. To me, this feels like an offense that's going to make its hay spinning it around. And I think that's where Julian is going to stand out and has through the first couple of weeks.
Boy, a linebacker on Max Clare would certainly be ambitious.
What are you going to do, though?
I don't know. And it's wonderful that we don't have to figure that out because Ohio State's, they've got Max Clare, and they won't have to game plan against him or really similar talent outside of Texas, Penn State. But for the quarterbacks, it seems to me that just watching, the 3 days we were at camp and understanding that the last time they were in the horseshoe, I think everybody walked away feeling better about Julian Sain than Lincoln Kienholz. And it's not to sleep on Lincoln. It's not to say that Lincoln's terrible or a bad quarterback, but there's just so little that separates the two. But I think enough favors Julian in terms of what Ohio State wants to do offensively, that when they do return to the shoe on Saturday, I think just that little bit shows and shines to where now you have an expedited quarterback battle because you have to.
Yeah.
Then you have the next 2 weeks with probably a better feeling, or at least coming out of that Saturday, the locker room knows. And I know we like to use that phrase all the time. You can't fool the locker room. Mm-hmm. I think if what we're saying right now turns out, or at least what I'm saying now turns out to be the case Saturday, Julian shows out a little bit better. He becomes maybe official, maybe unofficial QB1, and then you've got 14 practices to make sure that everything's in sync before August 30th.
I love, Bo, that you went to this Jake Butt breakdown because last night on Twitter, I bookmarked it, and I'm looking at my phone right now as you're reading it. And I debated this morning, like putting all of this in our show sheet, not knowing that you were going to go here, but it's so much. Like, it is such a detailed breakdown that he has on Twitter of all of this with the Buckeyes. And like listening, like hearing him, obviously he's a guy that grew up here, but he's an enemy, right? Like he was from, he went to that school up north, and he doesn't have a dog in this fight for Ohio State. So hearing him talk about the talent that he saw yesterday on that practice field really makes me feel better about the Buckeyes. He was actually on with AR yesterday talking about what he saw right after he saw it. I believe he was in the airport catching his flight to get back to Chicago or wherever he had to go. But it really, hearing him say this stuff yesterday made me feel better about this Buckeye team this year.
Pick North?
Pick North, correct.
Yeah.
It was funny.
God, the talent. They used to do that. Jimmy Johnson always had this thing, like, just don't let the talent leave South Florida. And it's not quite that, but like if you just had all the players from Pickerington, if you just had just give me all of them, you'd be pretty good over the last 20 years.
I was when he was in college at Michigan, I was dating a girl whose parents lived out that way. And there was a Kroger on Refugee Road out there, and we would go there on Saturdays in the morning, and you'd see Jake's dad in his Michigan jersey every week at that Kroger getting ready to watch the games later on that day.
That's awesome. He's great, and he's a star in the making, already is, but I mean, there's big, bright things in his future. So Ryan also had a chance to talk and gave an update on where we are in the quarterback derby. Here's what your head coach had to say on the Big Ten Network yesterday.
Both really good quarterbacks, both competing their tail off. Lincoln is a tremendous athlete. He's a Major League Baseball prospect. I think he's like a 1 or 2 handicap golfer. He can windmill dunk. I mean, he can kick a 40-yard field goal. He's just a tremendous athlete. And so, he came from South Dakota, and, he didn't grow up playing just football. He played multiple sports. And so, now that he's been in the program for 3 years, he's starting to really immerse himself in just playing quarterback. And you can see a lot of the things that he did. He had a great offseason. He was an Iron Buckeye for us in the weight room. Julian just has a quick release. He's accurate. His mind moves quickly. And he's had a good offseason too. So both really good players, and it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out here over the next couple of weeks.
I do feel I love Coach, but I do feel like the exploits of Lincoln every time become greater. Like at one point he's a 4 handicap, now he's a 1.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The first time he talked about Lincoln Golf, and it's like, oh, yeah, he can mash the ball. I'm sure he's really good. Then he was a 4. Now he's a 1 or 2.
Could be a black belt in jiu-jitsu next time you hear from him.
He's on tour.
Greco-Roman wrestling.
Could win the NBA dunk contest.
Right? What can he do? He's a supreme athlete, just supreme. But there is kind of getting a Bo Jackson mythical quality to his exploits in sports other than football, and he's obviously very good at that. It's just such a choice, right? I mean, it's just a stylistic choice. It's one of those things where whichever one they go, by the time you get to Texas, you need them to have full belief, and you need the team to have full belief, and then you're going to have to pick which style you want to be because it's slightly different. It's all the Buckeye offense, but it's slightly different.
Get a read from the room real quick. A QB2 package against the Longhorns. Where would we feel okay?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, we've done that before.
I think we see both of them in the first 3 games. I really do. I really, really do.
Do you think you'll see both of them running the full complement of the offense, or do you think you'll just see both of them?
No, I think whoever doesn't win the starting job in the Texas game, I believe gets at least a series.
In the Texas game?
I really do.
Would it be a series or maybe just red zone short yardage
opportunities? I could see more what Reese is describing. I don't know that I see that. But we'll see. I mean, here's a couple. I want to give you this because Patrick Murphy did this, so this is pretty good in terms of the dates that Ryan Day has announced as starting quarterbacks. Will Howard was August 15th last year. Kyle McCord was August 29th, so they took it all the way up. CJ was August 21st, and then Justin Fields August 19th. You know what jumps out to me about those? I love you, Coach, but it took you till August 21st to start CJ. Like, you weren't convinced before that he was the option? Like, come on, man. Why did they make CJ wait so long?
And what's interesting about those dates is Ryan has an availability on Monday the 18th.
Yeah.
Now, will he announce it then? Who knows? But
could be. Yeah. I'm guessing the folks in the room kind of have a feeling about it anyway at this point, but we'll see. 2 minutes from now, it's Old Home Week. This is going to be a lot of fun. 10 TV's Jeff Hogan is going to join us. And as I said to Bake, and I told all of you, and Bake and I were talking in the break, he doesn't age, and it's not fair. He'll join us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. Why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They are draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, you're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code $1 for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code $1. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code $1 for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code $1.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers, and you want to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors. Loads and fees erode your retirement savings. Let us show you how to protect your nest egg. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
And here's what's up on a Friday edition of the program. The most celebrated return to the Buckeye State since LeBron James. Jeff Hogan, 10 TV. How's that sound, brother?
I think it sounds great, man. It sounds like coming home. Feels good. It's good to be with you. How are you?
How do you not age?
Come on, man.
Come on, dude.
Trying to keep up with you.
Please, dude. I'm bald, fat. I got a million problems. Look at you. You look fantastic.
Yeah, but sounding good isn't one of them, I tell you.
When I got to Channel 10, I honestly thought you were Bruce Wayne, because you would do this. You were doing the Blue Jackets. You were in sports at that time,
Correct.
and you were doing the Blue Jackets pregame, and you would do 10 TV sports, and then you would bus to the arena as fast as you could, or sometimes you do the sports live at the arena, and then I would flip over and you're doing pregame,
right?
And I'm like, what can't this dude do?
It was a neat trick.
It was.
Well, it was phenomenal. I might have broken a few local laws in getting from the station to the arena on certain game nights. We kind of looked the other way on it, but I will tell you that when I was live in the arena, I would have the mic flag up on the stick mic for 10 TV, and in break, I would lower the mic flag, unplug it, and put the Fox mic flag on it for the pregame, turn around and face the other camera, and off we went. It was television magic.
It was. How did this come about, brother? I mean, this is an incredible thing.
I heard you made some calls, and I appreciate it. It was kind of you. It's something that I tell you, I never would have thought would have happened. I actually, when I was here for 20 years, never thought I'd leave. And when I left, never pictured coming back. I don't know why. It was a good spot. I was in a good place, and it was a good place. But the draw of coming home and the opportunity to do something special and rewrite, what I hope is the last stop on this journey. That's what I'm trying to make it. But it took a lot of people and a lot of different ways of talking and making sure that things were being done right, and I would be part of it. And I was excited to be part of it, and I'm so excited to be back. And it could not be a better coming home right now than this.
So Jeff will be anchoring the evening newscasts on Channel 10. It's so great to have you back. You were one of those guys who's always been very malleable in the business. I believe I was on the golf course with you at Golf Club at Dublin when you got the call from that building that was near the Capitol that, hey, I need you to come down here. We're going to talk. And you left on the fifth hole, and I finished by myself. We're going to talk a little bit about you doing some news now. And so you've always been somebody who's been able to do it. And in the way that news is being told now, it's never been more critical to be as much of a five-tool player as you can. It
is hypercritical now to be the type of person that, like the word you used, malleable. You have to molt with what is going on, and you have to show up where the people are. You have to bring the news to people where they are, and that's 100% where we are in this business. And I credit it back to sports. All the time spending in sports and having to adjust on the fly. You never know how that game's going to go, how it's going to end, and it changes the narrative by the second sometimes. So in order to be able to do that on your feet, think on your feet, and be able to make those changes, look at that. Who's the rookie that left his phone on?
What are you, Dery?
He comes in, yeah.
That's what Dom does.
Except not quite as important as him. But
he's the mayor now.
Yeah, well, yeah, but. It is so important to be able to meet the people where they are and bring them what matters to them most in a way that they're consuming it these days. It's changed. You got to be able to change.
Yeah, you have to. I think back sometimes of all of the things and the way that we did things and everything. It was so big. All of it was. It was a wild time. It was a fun time to be in it. When you look back to your sports days here, and you were the main sports anchor here for a long time. Moose, of course, a sports director. But when you were here and you think of some of those massive events, what are some of your favorite memories from your time here the last time around?
I tell you, I really go back when people ask that. I always go back to the 1998 Final Four run for Ohio State basketball. And the machine of football churns out every year and the expectations and all that every year. Well, basketball had just come off a couple of terrible years. It was my first year. They were a sub 500 team, I think. And my first year here was the Michael Redd year before he left after that amazing run to the Final Four. And nobody expected it. And it was one of the greatest journeys ever when we left to go over to Indianapolis for the Big Ten tournament, or it may have been Chicago that year for the Big Ten tournament before they moved to Indy. And then the first round of the tournament was in Indy, and I think it was UCLA was in that bracket, and everybody thought, well, that's the end of that road, you know. And then Detroit upset UCLA, and then the big center, Kenny, I forget what his last name was, but he was a Detroit guy, and they were playing Detroit, and it was a great storyline, and Buckeyes beat Detroit and moved on to the next round. So we went down to Tennessee, I want to say it was Knoxville, and then won there, and Auburn was in that region, St. John was in that region, I mean, when they were beasts, and just the improbable run. And when we were in Knoxville and our managers called us after they had won the region and went to the final, we're headed to the Final Four in Tampa. They were like, yeah, just, you're halfway there, just keep going. And I'm like, nobody packed for this, you know, we thought it was going to be a weekend and coming back one and done in that. So that was one of the incredible runs, but also just having, you know, Jim O'Brien, hosting Jim O'Brien's show back in the day, John Cooper's last shows back in the day, being host of those, and then turning over to the Tressel era and hosting all his shows throughout his tenure, and Thad Matta's tenure. And meantime, you know, doing our daily job, plus the Blue Jackets when they were in season, it was a run like no other, and I did it. That took years off my life.
There's it doesn't look it. No, you're right. I always feel that way about the college basketball, the Final Four run, like the run they had with Sully and those guys, because it was, you don't know when it's going to stop. It's thrilling, and you're in like this traveling bandwagon that just goes from city to city, and you see the same people at the same places. So a lot of times that's a very similar answer to the one that I give my friend. Look, this is, your kids were born here.
Right.
And now the girls are in college, and it's you're empty nesters, you and Jeans.
Yeah, and this is,
come on, man.
I know you and Amy will get there. You'll know what I'm talking about.
One of them might end up in Lucasville.
It is, well, you know, I got 3 squares. You know, it's fine. Right. But honestly, my kids were born in Riverside, right? And they spent the first 15 years of their lives here, and so this will always be home. We have a base here. They have friends here. It's incredible. The people that we left and are coming back to, like nothing changed. You know, it's fantastic. We've kept in touch. We've kept friends, and it's going to be a very easy, smooth transition to come back. When we left, I told the kids, "Listen, you're not old enough to vote, so you don't get a say in this." But this time around, I said, "Hey, you're old enough to vote." They're both seniors in college, and so they were like, "We're all for it. Let's go."
So I got to tell you, the first time used to throw this party. I can't remember what it was for.
Cinco de Mayo.
That's
legendary.
Cinco de Mayo party.
It was legendary.
It's pretty legendary. I remember the first year I got invited to it, and you went down in your basement in the house you had in Dublin, and you had a beer tap out of the wall. And I said, I'm going to like this guy. Like that was...
That was the selling point. That's all it took,
I was like, this guy's going to be all right. This guy's going to be all right, buddy.
Having a bucket of Coors Light in the studio here, you didn't have to do that for me. You know, I was coming anyway.
You were going to come anyway. Buddy, I guess I'll get you out of here on this one. What is your philosophy of doing your job now in a world that's changed very much in 2025? What does that look like? What are you bringing to the evening newscast now this time around?
I just think... I don't think it's changed over the years what we need to bring. We need to be a voice for the people, you know, and that is an extension into the public. And that is one of the things that I enjoy the most, honestly, after doing everything that I've done in this town sports-wise, and then the transition into news and following in the footsteps. Let me tell you, some great journalists, you know, the Dave Kaler and Angela Paces and the Jerry Revishes and the Andre Camberns of the world, to the current day people that are still here that I worked with. You know, I've learned so much along the way. I've seen so much of how this can and should be done. And then when you bring into the modern day world, let's bring in the problems that still exist. out there. So, you know, I have such a vested interest in this community from the things that I've been involved with in the past and the things that I want to be involved with moving forward, that, you know, we're going to meet the people where they are, however they consume their news. We're going to bring that to them and bring it to them truthfully and bring it to them in a way that they can trust on a nightly basis and have a reason that something might be new around here. It's worth taking a look. And I can't wait to start doing that and can't wait to start being involved again in this community here. There's so many things, you know, there's food insecurity, there's, you know, homelessness, there's all kinds of things in the community that I want to be part of and be part of the solution.
It's got to, I mean, I just was thinking about this, like, and you think about you're coming back, you're back in here, like Ohio State plays Texas again.
Right.
Like, here we go.
Right.
Right,
I mean,
we're right back.
What could be better? You know,
I mean, it's like deja vu all over again.
I feel like that is a wonderful homecoming present that game is scheduled for then. And Jeannie, University of Texas grad, you know, she's a tough one. So if you come across a pair, she's going to be in the building one way or the other. You know, I'm sure. But I'd like to be too with her. You know, it's going to be great fun. But we're going to do our best to give voice to the voiceless out there, Bo. As you guys, we all use our voices every day, and we're going to use it in the proper way.
You're the best, buddy. We benefit bigly by having you back. I'm sure you're late for an editorial meeting, and I don't want to get in any more trouble with Big Rick. So you get you go do your work, and it's great seeing you, brother.
No worries there, Bo. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right, there he goes. 10 TV's Jeff Hogan. It feels good. It sounds good. I like saying that again. We'll catch you up on what happened last night in the preseason football. May even allow these guys to talk a little baseball. We'll see. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties are $5.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Do your good-looking shoes hurt and you don't want to wear ugly shoes? At the Good Feet store, we can help you wear your heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Here's a look at what's going on around the ballpark with your Cincinnati Reds. The Reds wrap up the current homestand this weekend with the MLB Speedway Classic at Bristol Motor Speedway against the Atlanta Braves and will then head out on a 7-game division road trip to Chicago and Pittsburgh. When they return back home on August the 11th, they'll be facing the Philadelphia Phillies. That night, the Reds will also host another Ohio Lottery post-game concert, this one featuring legendary rapper and cultural icon Snoop Dogg. concert is free to all fans with a game ticket. Tuesday the 12th will be our next Budweiser 321 Tuesday. The fans being able to purchase $3 Bud and Bud Lights, $2 hot dogs, and $1 ice cream cups. The Phillies series finale on Wednesday the 13th will also be the finale of the 2025 Ohio Lottery Concert Series with Train performing after the game. And again, concert is free to all fans with a game ticket. That's a look at what's going on around the ballpark with your Cincinnati Reds.
T-Bone and Tybus.
You comparing apples to oranges.
No, I'm not. I'm literally comparing sandwiches to sandwiches.
You can't make a PB&J without the bread.
Yes, and to me, I need a hot dog. I want it on a bun.
T-Bone and Tybus Mornings on the Fan is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, or whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
And as is customary, and proudly, we are sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. Look, this is going to happen I think the league this kind of speaks to what we were talking about preseason football and all of it. So yesterday at practice, the Chargers, they just did this deal. With Rashawn Slater out for the year from an injury in practice with his knee. So that happened. I mean, that's someone who they were counting on and just gave a bunch of money to be a massive part of what they think could be a year on the move for the Chargers. So that happens in practice. And then in the preseason game last night, Anthony Richardson left with a dislocated pinky that happened in the first. He got the start. It's a competition between him and Daniel Jones. You forget, Anthony Richardson, how highly he was picked. And he's in year 3. And if not now, when, right? That's kind of the theme of this time of year, honestly, for a lot of these teams. But for him, you just wonder if he will ever get right there, or if he's going to be another in a long line of these guys who gets that first contract and then that's it. And we're quicker to move off of these guys than ever. I think the moral of the story is there really isn't a correlation one way or the other, that it's just football and sometimes you get hurt and sometimes just dumb luck. But for Richardson, it's a massive blow to now have this dislocated pinky to be a part of it.
And I do think, 2021 when the NFL went to 3 preseason games, so it's still in a little bit of its infancy with how to properly manage that going into the regular season. I think every single team is in a completely different situation. There are 32 very unique situations, but with the Slater news, I mean, that's more devastating for the Chargers than MJ Emerson's to the Browns, but that's just what happens in football. And a lot of times, a lot of great players do nothing wrong and are dealt a really horrible hand. But I still look to, what Burrow and the Bengals did last night as you kind of can't be afraid to step forward into football.
I think you just have to be honest to who you are.
Yeah.
And you have to believe emphatically in you have to believe emphatically in your process. Sean McVay believes emphatically in his process. You don't need to see Devontae Adams. You don't need to see Puka Nacua. We don't need to see Matt Stafford until a week before the game. we're good. You don't need
maybe
to see
day of.
Guys. Yeah,
maybe
that's their approach. And guess what? It works for them. Other teams have different approaches. So I think that what's interesting is the 2 Ohio teams have both switched their approach to training camp and to preseason football. In Cincinnati, they're playing their guys in the preseason. We talked about that off the top. Cleveland still isn't playing their ones in this preseason game, and honestly, they have so much is going to be relied upon with Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett. I wouldn't play them at all. They both look great. But Cleveland Kevin Stefanski has ratcheted up the physicality in camp in a big, big way. First time they put on full pads, they went full contact. Now, that's not the way that they've never done that. And they did that 2 weeks ago. So both of them have changed their thoughts and kind of their approaches to training camp and preseason. So I just think kind of whatever you're going to do, it's got to be honest to who you are as a coach and who your operation is. And then the guys will fall in line. You could make an argument one way or the other.
I'm for it. I'm for guys playing in the preseason. I think now there are certain guys that don't need it, right? And I'm guessing like the Bengals offense doesn't need it. But there are some teams that do need that. Like you mentioned, a Matthew Stafford, or we've talked about Flacco. Those guys don't need to go out there one bit in the preseason. I will say this, like, I don't know what the Colts are doing at quarterback, like if it's Daniel Jones, if it's Anthony Richardson, if it's a real competition. I also don't know who else they were starting last night. But, like, if you're going to have your first-team quarterback out there, you need to have your first-team offensive line as well. To help protect him, because I don't know if that was their first team offensive line last night or not, but that tackle made a choice last night, and he chose not to even try to touch that guy. He chose to look the other way, and it almost got his quarterback killed.
Yeah, usually you see that. Usually you see if the ones are out there, it's all of them. If you're going to put your quarterback out there, it's all of them. The Richardson case is a wild one. As a reminder, he only started 13 games in his career at the University of Florida. He was a starter for 1 year. That's it. And in that 1 year, if you're wondering, boy, that 1 year must have been amazing. Yes, not really. The team went 6-6. He completed 54% of his passes, 17 touchdowns, 9 picks. He ran for another 654. He was the classic. He ran a 4.43 at the combine. He's 6'4.5". He's 244. They saw Cam Newton is what they saw in him, and they picked him 4th overall. But even at the time of draft, it was one of those ones where I was like, wow, nobody knows anything in this. Like some of these, I'm shocked that Trevor Lawrence hasn't been better than what he's been and overcome some of the obstacles, even though some of them were pretty extreme. But like this was one of those ones that when it happened, I think most of us were like, wow, I don't see it. And the crazy thing with him is when you watch him play, and now this career will probably be derailed, but when you watch him play, and he made a throw last year in the opener. It was as good a throw as you'll ever see in your life. I mean, just an impossible throw for anybody to make. Like maybe he's one of 3 or 4 guys on the planet who could make that throw. And then in the next series, he's throwing it into the stands. And so that's the thing that they haven't been able to harness with him, because quite honestly, he just needs to play a lot more football. He's another one of those guys that would benefit from a spring league where he could play 10 games.
And that's what I was just thinking about with him. And it was obviously hindsight's 2020. It was definitely at the quarterback position an overreach, an overdraft. He's a guy that has all the physical ability. But what we've talked about a lot on this show is the guys that are coming into the league and having success right away are the guys that have played a lot of football and gotten a lot of snaps and a lot of reps. And I think it's the one thing we forget about as sports has become younger and younger. The quarterback position is still a development position. You need to play a lot of football and get a lot of snaps and reps to be good at it.
I also forgot Daniel Jones was on the Colts.
Well, yeah.
Like that's what the preseason does a lot of times, where we go, I wonder who's playing. Oh, he's there. Okay.
Well, he's one that, I mean, like, I think he would have been somebody that the Browns would have loved, but I think the price got too high on him. And, you know, they still have cap stuff with all the Watson stuff, so they couldn't. But I think he would have been somebody that would have checked a lot of boxes for them had they been able to bring him in. Obviously, it feels like now he'll end up being the starter. We'll see how all of this shakes out. But dislocated finger, even if it is a pinky, is not something that's a ton of fun. Second hour of the program coming up next. Doug Lesmeries is going to join us at 10:30. Get you set for the Browns preseason debut tonight. What can we expect from Shedeur Sanders? And what we learned this week kicks it off. It's all coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Hugs from patients like Patrick. It's something QC Kinetics medical professionals experience every day.
I hugged them. You should hug somebody who does that for you. They gave me my life back, and I really didn't know where I was going to go because I was definitely afraid of having a knee replacement done.
No surgery, no downtime with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. They give patients relief from joint pain using their own healing properties to repair and restore damaged tissue. And the results? Well, that's why we see a lot of hugs at QC Kinetics.
Everything is back that I thought I was never going to be able to do again. I'm still smiling, and sometimes it gets emotional. I get a tear in my eye because of how I was before I went in there.
Those smiles and hugs never get old at QC Kinetics. It means patients are finally getting relief. And now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate for these amazing treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Here's a look at what's going on around the ballpark with your Cincinnati Reds. The Reds wrap up the current homestand this weekend with the MLB Speedway Classic at Bristol Motor Speedway against the Atlanta Braves, and will then head out on a 7-game division road trip to Chicago and Pittsburgh. When they return back home on August the 11th, they'll be facing the Philadelphia Phillies. That night, the Reds will also host another Ohio Lottery post-game concert, this one featuring legendary rapper and cultural icon Snoop Dogg. The concert is free to all fans with a game ticket. Tuesday the 12th will be our next Budweiser 321 Tuesday, with fans being able to purchase $3 Bud and Bud Lights, $2 hot dogs, and $1 ice cream cups. The Phillies series finale on Wednesday the 13th will also be the finale of the 2025 Ohio Lottery Concert Series, with Train performing after the game. And again, concert is free to all fans with a game ticket. That's a look at what's going on around the ballpark with your Cincinnati Reds.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway. Refresh your fuel tank, refresh your U-tank with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. And refresh the vibe for any drive. Refresh at Speedway with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks with Speedy Rewards, and try exclusive Mountain Dew Infinite Swirl flavor for a limited time only. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward. When we say we want to lose weight, we mean fat, not muscle. New studies show up to 40% of the weight lost on the new meds is muscle, not fat. Keep your muscle, lose the fat with Awaken 180. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Attention Columbus foodies. Are you a smoker of mouth-watering chicken wings? Then bring the heat to the Grove City Smokin' Hot Wing and Music Fest, presented by American Nitro. First place wins $1,000, but more importantly, bragging rights. It's all going down Saturday, October 4th, with wings, beer, music, and more. Sign up your team today at americannitro.com/wingfest. Don't wait. Spots are filling up smoking fast. Wingfest supports local causes like Southwest Career Academy, Ghosts of War, and Gigi's. Let's wing it for a great cause. Sign your team up today.
We repurpose a lot of the junk we haul away.
Donatables get donated to a family that needs them, and the recyclables get recycled.
And we have enough trucks that we can come the day you call us.
We work to help your neighbors, the planet, and you.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers, and you want to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The NFL preseason continues Friday. The Browns play at the Panthers tonight at 7. Rookie Shedeur Sanders is going to start for Cleveland. You can hear that game over on ESPN Columbus. Tyvis Powell will be on the pregame starting at 5 o'clock. As for the Bengals, Cincinnati lost at Philadelphia last night, 34-27. Joe Burrow got the start and led the Bengals to a pair of touchdowns in the 2 drives he played in. Zach Taylor says Burrow's going to play even more in their second preseason game 1 week from Monday at Washington. In baseball last night, the Pirates shut out the Reds 7-0 in the first of a 4-game set in Pittsburgh. Paul Skeens struck out 8 in 6 innings of work. Both teams go in game 2 tonight at 6:40. The Guardians had Thursday off. Cleveland's in Chicago tonight to take on the White Sox. This update is sponsored by 3D Cabinetry, your go-to for fast, hassle-free service from order to install with fully assembled all-wood affordable cabinets. Free consultation at 3dcabinetry.net.
The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody. Work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Friday. Doug Lesmeries going to join us at 10:30. Get you set for the Browns and their preseason debut coming up in about 15 minutes from now. For right now, here's what we learned this week.
We're not trying to do too much around here, but over the course of 5 days, you might have gleaned some stuff. Bishop and Friends present What We've Learned This Week.
Certainly some football stuff that we learned, but as you were doing the update there, Reese, the Skeens stats stuck with me. First time in his Major League Baseball career, he's given up 7 hits. It took this long. By the way, still blanked the Reds, struck out 8. And lowered his ERA under 2. What's our comparison? What's our comp for him?
I don't have one. I mean, Tarek Skubal won the Cy Young, and he's 2.18 his ERA. Skeens is 1.94. His record's 7-8 on the season.
Yeah, like the combination of elite. As elite as you can, but also on a team
surrounded by poo.
I thought of Felix Hernandez.
That's the one.
King Felix. Is that the one?
He won the Cy Young with a sub 500 record. I think he was like 12-13 one year and won the Cy Young.
That's the one that I was thinking of in the break, but I don't know. I don't think King Felix started like this.
No, I don't believe so. I think
he was younger, though. He didn't play in college, Bake, to be fair.
I feel like the pitcher that I compare Skeens to the most, maybe, is Max Scherzer. When Max Scherzer was, who he was and really dominant, I feel like they're pretty similar. Threw it hard, had some nasty stuff.
What was Kerry Wood like coming up? Like right out of the gate.
I think he was like this. I mean, he was a strikeout pitcher, but I don't think he was dominant like this.
No.
I think Pryor was probably the more dominant of those two.
What was Pryor like right out of the gate?
Because he played at USC.
Yeah.
And then came to the Cubs pretty quickly.
I mean, they had both of those cats.
Pryor had injury issues that just totally derailed his career.
So Pryor out of the gates, that first year, he went 6-6, 3.32. Pryor's second year with the Cubs, though, in 2003, 18-6, 2.43. Third in the Cy Young. So that's pretty, but that's not even Skeens. But it's pretty, man, Pryor's entire career is over by 25.
Crazy.
Man. Poor Fish is throwing his head into the window, us talking about what could have been with those two cats.
Obviously, hindsight is 20/20 with the game last night, and it may not have made a difference. But how fun would that have been last night if it was Chase Burns pitching for the Reds?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. It's wild, and it's one of those things where, like, if you're them. We had this conversation with them because earlier this summer, before all the football started, people were looking for things to talk about. They floated like, should they trade him now? Should the Pirates trade him now and get like the max value? I don't think you can do that. You can't do that to you basically would just light your fan base on fire with something like that. But boy, in terms of his value, I don't even know how you'd put a number on it.
There was a report,
the biggest get back in sports if he became available.
earlier this week, John Heyman had the report that the Yankees, and they have like their top prospect in their farm system, the only person they would trade him for, and his name escapes me right now, is Paul Skeens. So if you could get a haul of prospects, because that's what's going to happen with the Pirates, like they're going to end up trading Paul Skeens before he hits for like full-time free agency, which sucks for Buccos fans, but such is life when you're, owners, your poverty franchise. And again, I can relate. Significantly more success recently, but for the Pirates, it's like that would be the deal. Your best prospect, your third best prospect, and then a couple more other guys that are going to be good in a couple of years.
Yeah, you need the equivalent of, in football, the Herschel Walker deal is what you would do, and then it's worth it if you can make that work. But in baseball prospects, it's so hard to know, like, if a prospect hits or not. You wait on them forever. Like, I don't see how you could do it. That's
why it's crazy to me. Like, you have this guy right now, and I would just think you do everything you can to build around him right now. Try to get something. Try to get at least 1 year. I think this also speaks to how bad the Pirates have drafted, because they've been high for a long time, and they've really got nothing. Like, Brian Reynolds is having a down year, but he's a guy that's been pretty good. I mean, Onel Cruz has a lot of talent, but there's just not a lot of consistency. Like, they have nothing around this guy, and I don't understand it.
They're a long way from the Galbraith ownership that gave Dave Parker $2 million. They need to find a Central Ohio guy to buy that team, and maybe they'll throw some money at it again. Look, I think the other thing we learned this week is that we're inching closer to the quarterback thing being solved at Ohio State. It's funny, and I don't know if you guys have this experience or not. Almost everybody that asks me will say, "So it's Julian, right?" Like, I mean, I get that all the time. Every time people ask me how do they look, and I said they both look great. I don't think you can make a bad choice with either one. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, though. It's a very stylistic choice, which one you go with. But the reality is that with Texas being the opener, that clock is ticking on making that decision, and it feels like we're inching closer to that. Is that sometime next week? Is it the end of next week? I don't know. I think they're done for open practices because the Big Ten Network practice was yesterday, and I think that's the last one in terms of like everyone being able to see. I could be wrong, but I think that's it. So we'll see. We'll see what this thing shakes out. But you're going to make a choice about what you're going to be offensively, and you're going to make a choice about kind of the identity of the team with this decision. Either way, you'll be fine, but it does feel like it's getting a little closer. The other thing that jumped out to me, and I saw this in Jake's comments as well, and we noticed it when we were out. We were referencing Jake Butt's post on Twitter, which he put out. Just a lot of great information in it. But one of the things that jumped out when we were out there, it jumped because they were available this week. This group of Ohio State linebackers is fierce. They are bangers. They can run. They will take your head off. They'll get downhill in a hurry. I think Threes is going to unleash those guys in a very, very big way this year. I mean, when you see the size of Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, and then James lumped Peyton Pierce with him, that's big news for him to be on the level with those two. So I think this Buckeye defense could be really special this year.
And I think you have a lot of hype because the defensive coordinator, I think there's trust that Matt Patricia's going to call up defenses based off of the talent he has and the opponent in front of him, not just say, here's my system, let's make this work. Like, this feels more of the NFL style of, who do I got? What ingredients am I cooking with, and who am I serving? And that puts your talent in the best position to win, not have to think too much, and get guys like Peyton Pierce on the field. Like, Arvell Reese always stuck out to me last year because of the linebackers that you had, pretty good for Ohio State last year, but you had to get him on the field. And the job that they've done recruiting means that these guys you have to see on the field. And you just hope week one, with both the offense and the defense, they just let them fly and be free.
I feel like, and I don't mean to knock any of the linebackers, because like Cody Simon was really good last year, and he, bided his time, and he got there. And listen,
Tommy Eichenberg,
tough Borland, Tommy Eichenberg, Pete Warner, Baron Browning was a guy, right, that we kept waiting for, almost like a C.J. Hicks, right? It was like, why didn't we move this guy to defensive end way sooner? But we've had a lot of those guys that have been like 3-year starters at Ohio State at linebacker, really solid. Maybe not great, though. I feel like you have greatness in that linebacker room this year, and this is kind of hard to think about, but you lost 8 starters off of the Ohio State defense last year. This defense this year could be possibly better and definitely maybe more exciting and explosive. Like, they'll probably get more turnovers this year. I think the back 7, and I think the defense. I think the defensive line is good. I think the back 7 for Ohio State is going to be something we've never seen before this year.
It's going to be. You got to go way back. I think you're right. I think the word you used is use the word. Would you use exciting? I think you used
explosive.
Explosive. Yeah, I think they are a turnover magnet, and I think what Caleb Downs allows you to do, coupled with what I think is the best secondary he's playing with in the country, what he allows you to do, the Swiss Army knife that he is, juxtaposed to that linebacking group, man, you just get a little pressure up front, you just get downhill a little bit, you're going to be wreaking havoc. It's been a long time. I mean, since you can make an argument this is linebacker U every bit as much as Penn State is. But we've had a bunch of really good, great players, but we have not had that elite stuff. It's been a minute. Since Shazier, probably.
To your point about getting home, I mean, that's why you go into the portal and you get Bo Atkinson and you move C.J. Hicks to a rush end. Like, you put your player, you get the proper players that you need, then you put those players in the best position to just be football players. And then maybe later on in the season, you can start to, really cook things.
Yeah.
I don't think this is crazy or far-fetched. I think Ohio State has 6 cornerbacks that could start for anyone in the country.
I think you're right, and I think other people that do this for a living feel that way too. That they are that deep in the secondary, that they're going to be that good. So it's going to be a full day for Arch Manning by the time we get to that game at high noon on that Saturday. All right, Browns making their preseason debut tonight. What do you expect to see from Shedeur Sanders? He gets his shot. How will he take advantage of it? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
The roof of your home protects what matters most in your life. Your family, your memories, your peace of mind. So when it comes time to replace the roof over your head, you need a name you can trust. Newman Roofing. Don't just take our word for it. Here's our friend Cindy on why she chose Newman Roofing over all the rest.
We had interviewed and talked with several other roofing companies around the city. The salesperson that came to speak with us was extremely knowledgeable, answered questions, took his time with us. We were happy to make Newman our choice.
And you'll have peace of mind knowing that on the day of the installation, we'll give you and your home the respect it deserves.
The guys arrived right on time. The crew leader came and talked with us, let us know what they were going to be doing. He was here all day with the crew. That itself was very impressive.
If you're thinking about your roofing or siding, give Newman Roofing a call today.
We were very happy with our experience, and we would highly recommend Newman to anybody we talk to.
Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college for complete terms.
We've all got it. You know, that one crazy thing you've always wanted to do. That bucket list goal. Then a cancer diagnosis, and that one thing still goes according to plan. I would know. I'm getting my first tattoo right now, while my 3 beautiful daughters laugh hysterically at me. 58 years old, 4 years of cancer-free checkups at Ohio Health. Go ahead and get a picture, girls. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans.
College
Alan, Man, and Timmy here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino.
Mikey, it's time for the ultimate fan experience. You could win tickets to the big home team game.
Legal?
Oh, legal.
Oh, illegal.
Legal. Against a team that wears orange on August 30th.
It all goes down Thursday, August 28th from 6 to 7. All you have to do is use your Penn Play card or the Penn Play app during the month of August.
And you can win a bunch of other prizes as well. The more you play, the more opportunities you have to win.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambler.
Spend Labor Day weekend at Great American Ballpark. Cheer on the Reds when they face the Cardinals in a 3-game set August 29th through the 31st. Enjoy a fantastic post-game fireworks show on Friday presented by Toyota. Saturday, fans in attendance will receive a Hunter Green bobblehead featuring the Reds ace with his French Bulldog Ross, thanks to Tri-Health while supplies last. Bring the whole crew on Sunday and enjoy some afternoon baseball. Visit Reds.com/tickets today.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday. We are seeing plenty of sunshine in your forecast with temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies with our overnight lows in the 60s. Can't rule out a stray shower, though, although most of us today will stay dry. For your Saturday, we'll see plenty of sunshine and even warmer with highs getting into the low 90s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan. The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, I used to do a segment with the Juice guys called Bo Knows Browns. So let's reenact that right now. You guys are the journalists. I will be the de facto general manager of the Cleveland Browns, and you guys can ask questions and I'll answer them.
Yes. Short man in the front. Why do the Browns make me sad all the time?
Well, that I can't help you with that. I mean, that's not a roster decision. I can't tell you that.
Why do you hate Shedeur Sanders? By giving him an opportunity to start in a preseason game, a 5th-round pick. Why?
Setting the poor guy.
You're setting him up to fail. How dare you? How dare you? In the form of a question.
It's been one of the really craziest things of the last week is how it went from he wasn't getting an opportunity to now I don't like the opportunity that he's getting. Well, hold on now. You can't have it both ways. I think the thing that's really difficult here there aren't many examples of this. You know, the other examples that you think of when you think of somebody who is this famous, who is waiting their turn or trying to figure out their way in the National Football League, the Johnny Manziels, the Tim Tebows, those type of players who are so well known, those guys were first-round picks. I mean, Tebow was a first-round pick. Johnny was a first-round pick. Hard to believe, but they both were. And so when you're a first-round pick, there's a different amount of attention that comes with that. On the surface, and just factually correct, Shedeur Sanders is a 5th-round pick. Now, all of the mock drafts had him going in the first or worst at the top of the second. There wasn't a draft analyst that had him lower than the 35th pick overall. But as we've detailed many, many times, clearly something happened there was a common theme in the pre-draft process that caused the entire league to say, yeah, we're good. Right? So that happened. He fell to the 5th round. Nobody could understand it, but he did. He fell to the 5th round. So that's the way that the Browns drafted him in the 5th round. By the way, they like Dylan Gabriel more. That's not scores. They drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. So that tells you what they thought of Dylan Gabriel. Now, they traded up to get Shedeur because they saw the value in it. And I think they look at both of these guys as kind of bites at the apple and potentially a long-term fix. This is my advice to Browns fans on Shedeur Sanders. Think of him as a lottery ticket. If it hits, your life's changed, and the next couple of drafts are changed. If it doesn't, it's a 5th-round pick. You're out $3 or $4 or whatever a lottery ticket costs now. That's the way that I would tell you to view this thing. The reason that Shedeur Sanders is getting this shot tonight, though, is because they aren't healthy at the position. And because you don't need to see Joe Flacco do anything. Joe Flacco got his work done this week. But the injury to Kenny Pickett, which is now lingering into its 2nd week, is starting to look a little bit alarming from their standpoint, because they were going to go with Pickett to start this season. That's the way that they set this thing up. And I've said all along that barring an injury to Pickett, I think he's going to start the opener. But that injury now, we're 2 weeks into that injury. And so that's part of it. I'll get to your questions in just a second, sir. And then Dylan Gabriel hurt his hamstring too. If Dylan Gabriel were healthy, Dylan Gabriel would be starting tonight. He's a long way ahead of Shedeur in terms of what they need the quarterback position to be. So he would get the starts on if he weren't hurt, but he is. And so, as Kevin said, he said it earlier this week, it's just not worth it to put him out there to risk further injury. So he did the 7-on-7 stuff, but didn't do the 11-on-11, and so he's not. And so Shedeur gets this opportunity. So this is a very rare thing for a 5th-round pick to get a start in a preseason game. So this opportunity is as big as it gets for Shedeur Sanders. Now, if he goes out there, and obviously they have some questions about the process and all of it, but if he goes out there and balls out, then that's an attention getter. So that's part of paying off of that lottery ticket. And that's kind of the way that I would view this thing if I were a Browns fan. I'm excited to see what he looks like tonight. He's a very natural thrower of the football. He naturally has incredible touch. He can layer the ball, over zone, all those things. I want to see what it looks like tonight for him.
I love, and you've said this all along since they drafted both of these two, the lottery ticket. Because I think that is exactly what Shedeur is. This was a guy that most people thought you were going to take when the draft process started at number 2 in the whole NFL draft. And then you get him in the 5th round. And listen, it sounds like this kid, other than driving fast, has come into Cleveland and done everything perfectly. Done everything the way you need to. He's put his head down. He's worked. He's been a good teammate. And listen, I don't know if he can play at all or not in this league, but I hope he does well tonight, and I hope he goes out there and plays good, because one, as a Browns fan, that'd be great that maybe you get something here out of a young quarterback, but also for him, he's a guy that I think is going to have a tough time being a backup in this league. And I think it's why a lot of people passed on him in the draft, because you can't have a backup quarterback being a story. We've seen that in the league. Tebow was never going to be a backup quarterback in the NFL because people were always going to be talking about him, and it was never going to work that way. So for Shedeur, I hope he plays good enough that even if it's not with the Browns, he can go somewhere and be a starter eventually, because I don't think he's going to have a Chase Daniel type career. Because I just think, and it's through no fault of his own, he can't be the story as a backup quarterback, and he's always going to be.
He's like, I mean, I guess the one pushback would be like Jameis. Now, Jameis started for a bunch of years, but then he flipped to being a very good backup and a great teammate.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's clamoring. Fan bases aren't clamoring for Jameis to be the starter.
But maybe they probably were. I mean, he was the number 1 pick in the draft, and then he just played right away. So, yeah, you're in that sense, it's hard. It's a little bit of apples and avocados.
Mr. Bishop, I am interested in the usage rates for other rookies tonight. Harold Fannin offensively, Dylan Sampson, Mason Graham, Carson Schweisinger. What do you think the plan for those guys will be?
I would think the only one that I don't know for sure would be Mason Graham, but I think Carson Schweisinger will play. I think Harold Fannin will play. I think Dylan Sampson will play. I think all of the rookies will play. My hunch is Mason Graham will play a little bit too. I wouldn't be surprised if he played a little bit too. The key is going to be those first couple of series, the Panthers front versus the backup line for the Browns.
I like that they're doing that.
Yeah, I think what's a little bit dicey there is, Zach Zinter didn't make the trip. He was a draft pick out of Michigan last year who, was just out over his skis when he played. But they need some future planning there. I mean, they need those type of guys to go because Bitonio, Teller, Conklin are all unrestricted free agents after this year. And they're all long in the tooth. So they need a little bit of future planning on that offensive front to be able to see kind of where those guys are at. I think Kevin will put him in the best position to succeed. I think they'll be in shotgun a lot, which is he's more comfortable there. So I think they'll be in shotgun a lot. I think they'll spin it around. I think he's going to be throwing to guys he knows really well, guys who he's thrown to all camp. So I think that's pretty good. You won't see Judy or you won't see Tillman, but I think you'll see Deontay Johnson. I think he'll be out there. And so I think there's some guys they're going to be out there. And I think from a preseason football standpoint, it's going to be pretty tough to beat. Because I don't know what to expect in this. I mean, I know what I've seen in camp, and he's a hell of a thrower of the football.
Mr. General Manager, with the Quinshon Judkins situation, what is the plan moving forward at running back?
I mean, I wasn't serious. I don't really want to answer all.
Why do we have to go there?
We wanted to talk about him, the other running backs.
I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. They had 3 massive body blows in the lead up to this season. Not necessarily the direct lead up, but it all started back with the news that JOK was indeed not, right? So it really starts there. That's all the way back to just after the draft. Then you lose Martin Emerson, who I think they wanted to play a lot of man defense, and they were counting on Emerson and Denzel on the outside to be lockdown guys. Well, Greg Newsom's a nice player, but he's not MJ Emerson. So that was a massive blow in terms of what they wanted to do defensively. Jordan Hicks in the middle forces Carson Schweisinger in faster. Hicks with the retirement, so now Schweisinger goes faster, the second-round pick. First pick in the second round out of UCLA, and he's been a stud, but he's now thrown right into the fire. And then the other thing in terms of what they were going to do, it was going to be complementary football. And the reason they took Quinshon over Travion is because they thought that Quinshon was an every down pounder. They saw Nick Chubb in him, right? I mean, that's what they were hoping he would be. And Travion, they thought was a little bit more of, maybe they didn't know if physically he could withstand what comes with being an every down back in the NFL, and felt that Quinshon was. So very much of what they wanted to be offensively was going to be built around play action run game, throwing to the 2 tight ends, Jerry Jeudy on the outside, and Quinshon Judkins being a hammer. And I haven't seen any updates on that. There was something I think earlier this week that the instead of this happening in short order, it's going to be more time. Like the trial won't be until into next season or something like that, or into next off season. So I don't know what's going to happen with that thing, but that's kind of the next domino there for them.
Because he's still not signed a contract with the Browns. Okay.
No, because he was one of those second-round picks that was trying to – was it the Texans who gave somebody a guaranteed contract, and so all the second-round picks wanted guaranteed money? So he was one of those guys. I think he's the only one who isn't, and he hasn't been around, in a month. So that happened, the weekend before training camp, I think, when that happened? I mean, the timing was –
Yeah, I'm reading this now that his defense attorney filed to waive his right to a speedy trial.
Yeah, so they're going to try to – push this out a little bit, but can you play while this is hanging over you? I guess players do, but usually it comes with some sort of a suspension. So that's all conjecture. I have no idea what the timeline on any of that could be. 2 minutes from now, Doug Lesmeries, the King of the North, he joins us, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward. When we say we want to lose weight, we mean fat, not muscle. New studies show up to 40% of the weight lost on the new meds is muscle, not fat. Keep your muscle, lose the fat with Awaken 180. Awaken180weightloss.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Hour earlier than normal, but nevertheless a Friday tradition unlike any other. The great Doug Lesmeries, King of the North, with Bill Landis on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. This week, Ross Bjork had a long presser where he'll do that. He had a big one middle of the summer as well. And one of the things that he's trying to do is modernize tradition. And we see this around the country, right? Because the stay at home is so good, and so we have to do what we can with the in-house entertainment the best that we can to create this environment. All juxtaposed to the realization that every big game you're going to play from now until 2030 is at noon. If you're him, how do you handle all of this? And what did you make of of some of the things he did this week?
Yeah, I asked him that. I asked him, like, at night, you kind of get organic juice, right? It's dark, you can do, and then if you're not going to play at night, you've got to make your own juice. Are some of these changes a reaction to that? He said, well, no, we're going to do them anyway. I have not talked to and interacted with a ton of fans about this. I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Who think matters most? Also, you're going to make somebody mad. Somebody's always going to be mad and somebody's going to be happy. Just because something is old, not everything that's old is a tradition. And just because in 1931 or 1956 somebody did a thing, that's not the reason to do it today, right? It can't be just that. So I thought it was a pretty good mix of keeping the old, keeping what's best, but modernizing it. And the thing that I'm sure you noted is that a lot of it's stolen. A lot of it is stuff that Oregon does. But I think sometimes, I believe in the past, Ohio State would say, we're Ohio State. We're too big. We don't steal. We only do our own thing. And actually, like, if someone's got a good idea and you can take it, great. You have to be a little humble to admit that you didn't come up with it yourself, but you like something that somebody else did. So I get it. I would be going down a similar path, but listening to the fans at every step, realizing there's going to be at least 25% of the people that are mad about something. And I get it. But I think you have to try. And I'm always in favor of trying, and they're trying.
When was the last, because I know obviously you went to every game for so long, but you've been, King of the North for a little bit now. When is the last time that you attended a game at Ohio Stadium?
I guess like The Michigan game, probably. Yeah, the Michigan
this
game.
year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that one you don't. You don't need to. That one speaks.
No.
That's kind of like a night game. It's on. It's more than fine. The reason I ask is, so I took the kids to the Nebraska game last year, and I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, yeah, they need a shot of adrenaline here. They need.
I agree.
They need it. It's needed. And when you see what can be done and is being done around the country. You needed it. I welcome this. I understand you're going to upset some people, but I think the other thing about it is like I appreciate how Frankie is with this big noon stuff. That look, I'm trying. I did the best I could, but you're basically going to do this. And the reality, Doug, is Ohio State is not going to play a top 10 or meaningful game at anything other than noon until 2030. And it's crazy that there wasn't some dialogue or some thinking that there would be fatigue around that time slot for this fan base.
Yeah, and I still think, like, you're still a big enough dog. Like, you still fight. I would never stop fighting on that.
Me either.
Right? Because they're still partners. You know, NBC still wants a great night game. So whatever, you know, like, there's horse trading that can be done. They've horse traded in the past. We know this is Fox's pick, but we're going to give you this and that, and NBC is going to be so happy, and all of a sudden you get a great game at night, right? So I still think there has to be horse trading there, but you have to try. And the thing that I also liked about this is, and I said this to them, is that much like college football, so much that happens is in silos. This happens on its own. This happens on its own. We changed the music just because we did. We changed this just because we did. This is a plan. This is comprehensive top to bottom. They looked at everything together. So things can happen cooperatively. And nothing in college football happens cooperatively, right? So again, like it's a holistic reimagining of keeping what's best, changing what you can. But I do think, even though he didn't say yes, it's because we have to play a bunch of noon games, I have to imagine that was part of it. Because sometimes you just show up and it's dark and it's a great game, and that's enough. That is enough. Let's go. But when people are still groggy and people are still waking up, you might have to ring the victory bell before the game, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's fine. One thing that I was, that's, let me change directions and go a little Penn State with you for a second, because I saw this. BTN's doing their tailgate, which I think it's really good stuff when they're going around to all these places and you get to hear from these guys. And they had a linebacker named Tony Rojas, who who's a stud. And he was sitting down there doing the interview, and they were talking about Jim Knowles. And I think sometimes with all of the things we do, we forget that the defensive coordinator here is now at Penn State. Like, that happened. And he said, he was at that team. And Revson goes, well, I noticed you wouldn't say their name. And he said something to the effect of, we don't wear the colors. We don't speak on that. Penn State has gone to such great lengths to be unrivaled. Like, they didn't want to play Ohio State every year, which I've taken them and held their feet to the fire on. I don't understand it at all. To me, it is a rivalry. Absolutely. It's been one they played every year since the early 90s. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Is it possible that they treat it like a rivalry behind closed doors at Penn State, but outwardly they act like it isn't? And why would they do that if that's the case?
So I think there are a lot of comparisons to be drawn with how Harbaugh handled this at Michigan, right? That it felt like until you really think you can compete, it is hard to say, I think, yes, this game is the end-all, be-all, if you don't think you can win it. If you think you are behind the 8 ball, you're starting from behind. And then to acknowledge, this game defines our season. Then, you think we're probably going to lose. Why would we put more emphasis on that? And is Penn State under James Franklin, as good as they've been, how has Penn State ever gone into a season thinking we're going to beat Ohio State this year? I don't think they ever have under James Franklin, and I wouldn't know the last time they thought it. If they are acknowledging it as a rivalry, whether it's in or out, it's because they think they can win it. And they're not afraid to say this is now defining for us. And I think Harbaugh got that way too. Like, he was doing a lot of weird stuff. It was sort of like, and then when it was time to go, when he thought they had the team that could do it, then it was like, okay, this is a big deal. And so I understand that thinking, because why would you lean into a rivalry that you're getting your butt kicked in?
It's a great point out of you. It's certainly a good way to think about it, and it's probably spot on in terms of how they got there. To me, to not play that game every year, I think it stinks, and you're not going to have a chance to do it for quite a while. When the other thing that was kind of been a big topic of conversation, it's been a topic all summer, is this, this idea of a play-in game on Championship Saturday. You and I talked about that in the past, but
yeah.
I had Ryan on last Friday, and I asked him about the Texas game, and I said, because I think it's so critical that you still play those games, and he went right into the coach speak of, well, we need them to play their 9 conference games and all of that.
Yep.
What does it matter what the conference games are, or does it matter that you're playing a certain amount of Power 4 teams? Do you see what I'm getting at there? Like, does it really matter if you play 9 conference games versus 8? If you're also playing, if you're the University of Florida and you're playing Miami and Florida State every year, does it matter that you play 8 games versus 9? I think we sometimes get so lost in the weeds on this stuff.
I still say yes because of the math, because you're just guaranteeing more losses. When the Big Ten has 18 teams and plays 9, that's 9 more conference losses they're guaranteeing. 9 more losses they're guaranteeing for their conference teams. Because the SEC, even if you play a decent team, if Ole Miss is playing Florida State and South Carolina is playing Clemson, both Ole Miss and South Carolina can win. But if Iowa is playing Minnesota, somebody has to lose. And when you're talking about the 3rd and 4th and 5th teams in your conference in a committee setting, those 9 guaranteed extra losses for the Big Ten matter. And so I think that I still believe in the math, that's why that matters. And so I think that's why that discussion is still relevant, because you're going to have some mid-tier teams taking those losses. You're not only going to have the bottom-tier teams taking them, because it's and people have made the point, if you go back to 2018, that 9th conference game for Ohio State might be the Purdue game. And you take that away, and all of a sudden that's in the Purdue, right? That it just, I still believe in that. And I think that's the way they're thinking, because I think they believe when you have a bunch of teams that are equal, the committee's going to lean to the SEC. And I think the history shows us that, even though 11-1 Indiana got in over 9-3 SEC teams last year, that's a 2-win difference. If it's the same number of wins, the SEC gets the edge, and you're guaranteeing yourself losses. So there's a lot about this discussion I don't like. It feels like we're pinned into, we're either not going to play Ohio State, Texas quality non-conference games, or if we do play them, they're not going to matter, and they're going to be like exhibition games because we're getting guaranteed spots. And I think, why are those the 2 choices? They either don't exist or they don't matter. How did we get there? How can we not create a world where you still play them, they don't kill you, but they do help you, and it still matters? And I think we can get there. I think we're being blind and short-sighted because everybody's in their corner. And I understand why they're in their corner. I think there's a middle ground where you can make those games be played and matter. But I do understand why it starts with everybody playing the same number of conference games. I really do.
It also has to be noted that the reason you play 9 in the Big Ten is because the television partners needed more quality inventory, and that the SEC is going to go to 9 when ESPN pays them to go to 9. If Fox and NBC and CBS decide to pay the Big Ten to play-in games on Championship Saturday, guess what they're going to do? They're going to play them.
But I also and I asked Tony Petitti this at Big Ten Media Days, I think it's about getting to the same number of games. I don't think it has to be the SEC going to 9. I think it could be the Big Ten going to 8.
But do you think Fox would want that? I don't think Fox would allow that.
So I think the perfect solution is the Big Ten goes to 8 and you do an SEC Big Ten challenge.
Fine.
And then
that's a home run.
That replaces the TV value. That replaces the content. That gets everybody at the same level. And so now you're playing 8 conference, 1 SEC Big Ten challenge, and then 3 non-conference games, just like now, that you can do whatever you want with, which probably, hopefully, is two easy wins and then a regional rivalry that means something to you, or a big national game.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that would appease the TV partners, because, frankly, for the Big Ten, an SEC Big Ten challenge is better for them than the Ohio State-Rutgers game that you're losing. It's more valuable, and it solves equal scheduling. So that's my presentation.
Well done, as always, buddy. Good talking to you.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you.
All right, there he goes. Doug Lesmeries, King of the North with Bill Landis. And yes, I do think he and I could be commissioners of college football and fix everything in about one weekend. I really think we could. We'll hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Jerry, I've made a decision.
Aaron, are you giving away free services again?
Well, yeah. How did you know?
I haven't been able to quit thinking about your AC piggy bank.
Get Eco.
ECO. We work to extend the life of their old air conditioner and then give back all the money we were paid to do it.
Up to $1,500.
When they need to buy a new system.
Jerry, I'm getting ready to do something like that again.
Get Eco.
ECO.
When we replace a water heater, I'm instructing all the Eco plumbers to give our customers up to $500 in free repairs before they leave the house.
$500 in free services that same day?
There's lots and lots and lots of things our plumbers can do for $500 or less.
And Eco is going to do these things for free when people buy a water heater?
Yeah, whatever they want for free.
That same day?
Same day.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and gonna make you cool again, HVAC technicians.
Go to geteco.com.
When was the last time you hopped out of bed without that knee or back screaming at you? Or walked down a flight of stairs without having to take your time? You thought to yourself, I'll just tough it out. But nothing changes. Hi, it's Tyvis Powell. It's time to call and schedule that free consultation with Dr. Wolkoff and his team at QC Kinetics here in Columbus. I'm glad I did. Myself and others have turned around their lives with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies. No scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. Check it out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. Bring your x-rays and MRIs to QC Kinetics for a free, no-pressure chat and thorough evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and it's the Toyota National Sales Event all month long at Toyota West. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of no payments for 90 days, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. No payments for 90 days. Deferred payment. Interest accrued at time of inception with approved credit. Expires 8/31.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
On Thursday, Texas Tech landed a commitment from what could be the highest-rated recruit in school history. Four-star defensive end LaDamian Guyton, one of the top-ranked recruits in the class of 2027, committed to the Red Raiders yesterday. The 6'3", 235-pound edge rusher from Savannah, Georgia, selected Tech over offers from Georgia, Tennessee, Florida State, and South Carolina. Of course, their social media team jumped on the chance to celebrate with a tweet, "You can't recruit to Lubbock." They lied. For what it's worth, Guyton's only the second commit in the class for the Red Raiders and still has his senior year ahead of him. Thing or not a thing?
It's a massive thing for them. The only reason he's a 4 is, yeah, exactly. The only reason he's a 4, you saw that money out there. Monty was trying to get out of the ground. You remember Landman. The only reason he's a 4 and not a 5 is because 24/7 hasn't done the 5s yet, but he's a top 5 player in the class. To get him to Lubbock is a very, very big deal. It's also a pretty straightforward deal. They've got a lot of money. And they're activated. They threw a ton of money in the stadium. They've got in addition to their NIL and all of that, they got, it seems like, a complete buy-in from Patrick Mahomes. So you have that going for you, which is nice. I had a buddy of mine worked at Texas Tech, and then another buddy of mine went to Texas Tech, and both instances said, like, it's the best time. Like, once you get there, because it's way West Texas, but once you get there, it's a great time. So, I think that you can recruit there, and I do think, like, if you're curious about a Big 12 team elevating, this is the type of the team that can do it. And it's going to be those Texas teams. It's going to be Texas Tech. It's going to be TCU. It's going to be Baylor. It's already is SMU. They got a lot of oil money, and they're ready to spend it.
I feel like, and listen, kudos to them, right? Like, these are the rules we're playing with now. So that's what we get. It's very easy to be chesty, though, with this kind of stuff when you do have all of this money. Mm-hmm. And you can throw it out there, right? Like, it's super easy to be like, hey, look at us. We can recruit now that we've got this guy throwing $40 million a year at a roster. Like,
oh, yeah.
And again, no fault to their own. Go ahead and go do that. But just easy with the chestiness a little bit to me.
Show me the money! Derek, you better yell! Show me the money!
Did you guys know? Did you look at the 2026 top 10 players in 24/7 and where they're going? So this is the full NIL impact. The number 1 player is a quarterback. He's going to Tennessee. The number 2 player is a quarterback. He's going to Houston. Number 2 player in the country is going to Houston. The number 3 player in the country is an edge. Guess where he's going? Maryland. Then 2 LSUs. Then a Texas Tech, a USC, an Alabama, a Miami, and a Texas. The top 10 recruits in the country have never looked like that. That's NIL.
We'll do a little Blue Jackets thing real quick. Former Jackets forward James Van Riemsdyk joined Morning Cup of Hockey this week, and he had some pretty high praise for defenseman Zach Werenski.
I'm just thinking through, like, the list of guys who I've played with over my career. He's definitely, like, top defenseman, if not top 2 or 3. Like, I put him in the same breath as, like, Claude Giroux when I play with him, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner. He is definitely deserves probably more notoriety for how good he is. And he reminds me of kind of like a present day, like Scott Niedermayer, because he makes it look so easy. Like, he's just so powerful, so smooth, plays every single situation, just doesn't make a mistake, it feels like, ever, for how much he has the puck and how much he's out there, especially with the type of year that we had. Like, he was for sure a guy that deserves to be in, like, that Norris Trophy running, if not the Hart running, just because of how important he was to our team.
Thing or not a thing?
Obviously, it's high praise for someone who would know, and he was awesome to have on the team this year. What I'm curious about, Bake, is will Zach Werenski get to have all of the flowers that James Van Riemsdyk's talking about while wearing Union blue? And in order for that to happen, they have to win. They have to win. That's how you get to be in the Scott Niedermayer conversation, that you have to be a constant playoff team. You have to be a cup contender. You got to win. That's how you get those things.
I have a feeling if the Blue Jackets would have made the postseason this year, that maybe, I don't know if you could get the Norris, but he would have got some more Hart votes. I would argue Zach probably could have and should have won the Hart Trophy this year because I don't know if there was anybody more valuable to their team than he was.
Win it again?
Makar won the Norris. I believe, was it Kucherov won the Hart Trophy? I'd have to go back and look at that. But the Hart Trophy usually now goes to the best player in the league a lot of times. But I would argue Zach was a better candidate for the Hart Trophy than he was the Norris Trophy this year because I do think Makar was the best defenseman. Listen, we see Zach every night and we know how good he is. But when you hear Van Riemsdyk, who is a pro and a veteran, say Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews, who are best players in the league type players, and then you hear Scott Niedermayer. When I was growing up, there was two defensemen that people looked to as the best. It was Niedermayer and it was Nicholas Lidstrom, excuse me.
Yeah.
Those were the guys growing up. They're like, oh, these are the best. And then you hear that. It just kind of takes you aback, even though you're like, wow. I just never thought of it that way. The other thing in this that I think is a thing, I think the Blue Jackets are going to miss James Van Riemsdyk mightily. I think that was a big miss, especially when he goes to Detroit for just $1 million next year. I think they're going to miss Van Riemsdyk not only on the ice, but in the locker room next season.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Two-a-days continues. We are now in the NFC North. This division got good quick. Bears and Lions on tap. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Athena cantaloupes, personal watermelons, or King of the West honeydew melons are only $2.88 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get it Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because we know in making the most of your home, DIY doesn't just stand for do it yourself. It also means dream it yourself. And we're here to help protect the dreams you're building. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Call 1-877-CARS-for-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877-CARS-for-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. Shedeur Sanders gets his opportunity tonight as the Browns begin the preseason at the Carolina Panthers. Friday's kickoff is 7 p.m. You can hear that game over on ESPN Columbus. Tyvis Powell will be on the pregame with coverage at 5 o'clock. The Browns drafted Sanders in the 5th round out of Colorado. Injuries to Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett have given Sanders the opportunity to start tonight. As for the Bengals, Cincinnati dropped their preseason opener last night, falling to the Eagles 34-27 in Philly. Joe Burrow got the start and threw 2 touchdowns in 2 drives with the Bengals' #1 offense. In baseball, the Guardians had Thursday off. They'll begin a series in Chicago against the White Sox on Friday, while the Reds look to bounce back from Thursday's loss to the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Both teams will do battle tonight at 6:40. You can hear Red Legs baseball Friday following the Buckeye Show, and breaking sports news when it happens, all on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Before we hit two-a-days in the NFC North, we'll do the Bears and the Leos today. Before we do that, just get you updated on kind of what the next few days are at Buckeye Camp. So today, running backs and Carlos Lachlan, they'll have their availability. So I'm very curious about that. I saw C.J. Donaldson on, I think, the Doak Walker watch list. James Peoples was not. I know they like Peoples a ton, but that's a really unproven room. We spend so much time talking quarterbacks that sometimes that one gets missed a little bit. Saturday's a big one. We're led to believe, at least. That's practice number 9. We think that's going to be the Ohio Stadium scrimmage, at least a scrimmage of some sort. So that'll be on Saturday. And then Monday, Ryan Day will have some availability on Monday. And maybe that's the day, Reese.
I mean, they did a legitimate 11 on 11 last Saturday. So it would only make sense that they ramp it up from there on this coming Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting late quick. So Ryan will have some availability on Monday, then Tyler Bowen in the offensive line on Tuesday, then Larry Johnson in D-line on Thursday. The preseason AP Top 25 comes out on Monday, so this is all getting very real very, very quickly. A lot of the high schools are doing their scrimmages tonight. I've seen a bunch of them are already happening this afternoon, and some of them are happening tonight and this weekend. So we're going to be here before we know it, kids, with football on a Friday night and Buckeye football on a Saturday. You're going to blink and you're going to be there. NFL's coming quick, too. Let's continue with two-a-days.
Bishop and Friends present two-a-days, our preseason look around the league.
All right, we are in the NFC North. I think this is, quite honestly, just before we even get into these teams, this to me feels like, if not the best, it's on a short list of best divisions in all of football. The team we're going to start with is the Chicago Bears. And when you look at this setup with them and you say, if this isn't a playoff team, then it falls at the feet of Caleb Williams entirely, because I just, everything else looks good. I look at what they have defensively, boxes checked. I look at the weaponry offensively, boxes checked. The receiving core is dangerous. It's a problem. They drafted Colston Loveland, the tight end, in the first round. Their offensive line, they've upgraded. They look ready to go in every possible way. And their franchise kind of hit the lottery ticket in that when they had the number one overall pick, they still had Justin Fields and weren't ready to move off of. And then they stumbled into a second number one overall pick with Caleb Williams. So they get all that bounty from Carolina. They've built it. But when you see stuff coming out of Chicago in regard to Caleb Williams, it looks, and you never know because it's just one clip, but some of it just looks awful when I see some of this stuff. So he was such a clean prospect coming out of Oklahoma. Trevor Lawrence is a really clean prospect coming out of Clemson. It just feels to me like it's all at his feet to be able to take this team where it wants to go because everything else is there.
Well, first year for Ben Johnson. Comes over from Detroit as the offensive coordinator for what the Lions have been doing since 2022. And you've seen just kind of how that operation's gotten better and better and better. And we'll hit the Lions, obviously, later on this hour. It's funny, this division, to your point, best in football. And the Bears.
Right there,
So,
but they might be.
They could be on the way up. They've done a really good job over the past 2 seasons of drafting talent and then acquiring talent in free agency. Now, some's worked, some is still to be determined. But if they can take a step in the right direction, then this is a team that maybe in 4 years vaults themselves into the echelon the Detroit Lions are into. But yeah, a lot of it at Ben Johnson and very unknown with Caleb Williams in year 3?
Year 2.
Year 2.
And by the way, he was better than you think last year. He's a little bit of a check down Charlie, just 16.3 yards an attempt, but 3,541, 20 touchdowns, just 6 picks. He also ran for 489, so he's a good fantasy guy in that sense. But yeah, it's on him.
When you draft a quarterback number 1, I feel like they have gone about the right blueprint on adding playmakers around him. Then this year, they started to beef up the offensive line a little bit with Tooney and Jonah Jackson and bringing those guys in. There was already some talent on the defense from some of those down years, and they got picks to go grab guys, and they've got Montez Sweat and Kevin Byard, and they've got some dudes on defense. It is all about the quarterback position for this team, I believe. They're deep at receiver. They're deep at running back. They're deep at tight end. It's just, what is Caleb Williams? Because if he is anything close to a number 1 pick, this could be a team that could fight for a playoff spot. But if he's not, you're looking at another down year, I think.
It is wild and so on brand for the Bears to have not made the coaching change last year. I mean, it's just crazy. He should have had one voice. This should be year 2 with him and Ben Johnson. It should have been. You should never. That guy. He was on the thinnest of ice anyway, and they just let him be a lame duck for a year. And they are arguably the most underperforming franchise juxtaposed to their circumstance in the NFL.
Yes.
I mean, that's a massive city that they have to themselves, and it's a Bears town.
And I feel like that's because, like the Cleveland Browns, they can never get the quarterback right.
No, they haven't. That's the common denominator between the two. That they haven't. So we'll see if they got one here. Fantasy sleeper for Chicago. Who do you got, Bake?
Bo, I cannot believe that I am going against my guy, Luther Burden. I was like, there's no way it's not Luther Burden, and it could be.
I forgot they have him, too.
I think it's Kyle Monangai, the running back from Rutgers. I think you could argue Kyle Monangai the last 2 years has been the best running back in the Big Ten, and that's with Travion and Quinchon last year. This dude is a stud. I know Tyvus loves him, and DeAndre Swift is a guy that I feel like is a platoon guy. I feel like he's better with a guy with him. He's a good 1A, 1B type back.
Yeah,
and I feel like Kyle Monangai could be that guy. I think he's in for a big year and a good career with the Bears.
It's funny, I had Luther Burton written down. So I like the receiver out of Missouri. Rome Odunze, I think, could be in terms of fantasy and PPR leagues. for a good second year. I mean, like 700 and some odd yards receiving last season, only like 4 touchdowns, but you take steps in the right direction, there's a guy you can get in some serious value later on.
You would never take him as a starter,
No.
but I'm talking about Caleb. I think Caleb could be. I think he could put up some fantasy numbers. If you think what Goff did with that talent, and I'm not saying he's going to have what the year Goff had last year, but his ability to run too, he might be a nice quarterback to have.
To your point, Bears Week 5 bye.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Coolest player ever for the Chicago Bears. Lots of them.
Man, this is so tough. And again, I can't believe my first instinct was just Jim McMahon. But it can't be
QB.
It can't be McMahon. It's when your nickname is Sweetness.
Yeah.
Got to be Walter Payton.
Dude, he made Rue's shoes cool. They had a little kangaroo on the side, and he made them cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Walter Payton's the obvious one. Smokin' Jay Cutler, probably the second best nickname of any Chicago Bear of all time.
I grew up a Bears fan, and so when they traded for Cutler, it was my wedding weekend, and I remember saying to my wife, "This is the best thing that's happened to me this whole weekend. This is the best thing that could possibly happen. The Bears got a quarterback," and then it went how it went. Look, I mean, they had Butkus. Sweetness is the right answer, but man, Mike Singletary was pretty damn cool with those eyes in the middle of that defense wearing 50. I mean, it's so many.
Willie
cool
Gault.
Oh yeah, Mongo McMichael, Richard Dent. They had so many cool.
Oh my gosh, Mongo! There's only one of them.
United States champion.
Yeah.
Only one of them was a member of the Horsemen.
That's also true. Yeah, it's Peyton's the guy. I mean, it's Walter. And by the way, Fish says Walter Payton 100 times out of 100. Yeah, I think that's fair. What is this team this year?
So, man, there's a lot to love about the Bears, but I don't love the quarterback. I don't think Caleb Williams is the guy. I've never been a fan. So I think they're improved a little bit, but I still think in that division they're 7-10.
Yeah, I think because of whom they have to play twice a season. For me, there's a lot to like about the Bears. Yeah, I'm not love either, and I don't think Williams is it. I think this is 5-12 again.
I'm more in line with. I'm a little more bullish on them than both of you guys are. The schedule, it's pretty brutal right out of the gates with the two divisional games with Vikes and Lions. Then they get Cowboys, then Raiders. I mean, it's tough. To me, I think that the ceiling feels like 9-8, but I do think Ben Johnson's a hell of a coach, and I think the talent on this team is immense. So if they can get him close, like 80% of what Goff was last year. Could they be in that 9-8 range? Yeah, but I think you could also see. I just don't think that many people are going to be wrong on Caleb Williams. I think he'll have a bounce back year under a guy who actually knows how to coach offense. But we'll see. One of the teams that certainly is Super Bowl or bust is the Detroit Lions, but they have a lot of questions because their two coordinators are coaching other teams in the National Football League. We'll do the Lions coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Parents, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're listening.
Yeah. Are your teens good with money?
She's a good kid.
She's the
but
best,
yeah.
but... I get it. Switch to Huntington Bank, and your teen debit card can really help.
Oh?
You can set spending limits, and your kid can track budgets, so they learn that money doesn't, in fact, grow on trees.
I think we need this.
Sounds good, yeah. We feel you, parents. Let's get more from teen banking. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways. From overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing, I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and it's the Toyota National Sales Event all month long at Toyota West. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of no payments for 90 days, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. No payments for 90 days. Deferred payment. Interest accrued at time of inception with approved credit. Expires 8/31.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers, and you want to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Rothman and Ice.
It's more evidence that you need to subscribe to the rule Bobby and I subscribe to.
What's that?
If you can't get a yard, you don't deserve to win.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday. We are seeing plenty of sunshine in your forecast with temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies with our overnight lows in the 60s. Can't rule out a stray shower, though, although most of us today will stay dry. For your Saturday, we'll see plenty of sunshine and even warmer with highs getting into the low 90s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Common Man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
As we continue two-a-days in Detroit with the Leos, it struck me that with the exception of the Packers and the Steelers, like these teams in this region are just so punished fan bases. I mean, Indy doesn't kind of have the same feel to it as, Detroit and Cleveland and Chicago, and you think of these Midwestern massive cities, and you think about the loyalty that Minnesota, you think of the loyalty they have to these fans, and all of them have different stories, sad sack stories of why it hasn't happened. But the reality is, like, with all of them, you've got all of the success in Pittsburgh with the championships, and then you have it in Green Bay. You have the one title in Chicago, but everybody else is chasing it, and it's pretty wild. Like, this Detroit team is set up. They're 15-2 a year ago. If they're healthy at the end, they were the best team in football. Goff was sensational for them last year. And they had this window, but they lost everybody to injury. Just everybody. And it got to the point where they just couldn't couldn't take any more injury, and they still went 15-2. They lost to the divisional round, kind of a surprising result, obviously, against Washington in a cauldron of a stadium at Ford Field where they were ready to go and were just outclassed by the rookie. And so when you have the success that Dan Campbell has, and everybody fell in love with him on Hard Knocks a couple of years ago, you're going to have your guys leave. So Ben Johnson's coaching the Chicago Bears, and Aaron Glenn is coaching the New York Jets. So from a coordinator perspective, they're starting over. They also lost some other assistants and stuff in that mix. But the roster is pretty close to the same, and it's a very talented roster. And they are getting – I don't hear people talk about them as Super Bowl contenders in the NFC the way I do for certainly not like Philly, but even to a lesser extent, the Washingtons, the Rams. It feels like they're being slept on a little bit. But when you look at their roster, you say to yourself, I'm not sure why, other than just we don't trust Dan Campbell to hire competent coordinators. Is that where we're at?
I just think the injury bug bit him so hard. This is, when healthy, the best team roster-wise in the NFC. And they had the best football brain trust last year, I think, of almost any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now, to your point about both their coordinators going on to greener pastures, certainly that's going to be seen how Dan Campbell rehires and reshapes his coaching staff. But I don't see a reason why this team 15-2 a year ago can't do this. Winning 15 games in an NFL season is so damn hard.
Yeah.
Even if your roster's healthy. Well, but why they can't have similar success? Like anything less than a Super Bowl appearance feels like a failure this season for the Lions.
I think sometimes people think that way, too, because they don't feel Jared Goff is a guy that can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Why do people feel
We're
that
still
way?
doing that? Yeah.
I mean, the Rams got to one and got rid of him because they didn't think he could win one, and it's probably the greatest trade in NFL history as far as helping both franchises, right? That trade, Stafford for Goff. I will say this about the Lions. There's a lot of times over the years where they have drafted poorly. That's all changed since John Dorsey has gotten there. And listen, there's
buddy boy.
There are things about him, Bo, as you've said, that maybe it doesn't work well with others sometimes, but he helped build the Chiefs, and what we've seen from them the past few years, he helped build the best Browns team that we've seen since they returned. And now since he's gone to the Lions, they are a team that has just hit every draft pick. People complained about Jahmyr Gibbs, home run. They complained about Jack Campbell, home run. Brian Branch, home run. Aiden Hutchinson, home run. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, this Lions franchise has turned around, and I can only imagine you hear the guys being guys or dudes being dudes. Spielman, Dorsey, and Dan Campbell.
Oh, God.
It's a Hall of Fame football
together.
guy lineup.
Like, that's got to be worse than Bob Schleggs and AJ.
What was the comedian tour they did with like Larry the Cable Guy and
the Blue Collar Comedy Tour?
Yeah, that's what I think like film session is for those three.
I mean, those guys are just snapping towels and
football meatheads.
If there was any front office that had smelling salts in their respective offices, it's the Detroit Lions.
I don't know. They might just smack each other in the face to get them away.
Oh, they've got it all. The smelling salts. They've got the lifting chalk. They've got decaf coffee, 6 pots going at a time. Or no, fully caffeinated coffee.
Fully caffeinated.
6 pots going at a time.
Sucking down black all day long.
But it works.
It does. And they're, so I know Spiels. I know John. I don't know Dan, but my hunch is that yes, they are thick. To me, it's like stepbrothers. The three of them. With
just
bunk
become
beds.
best friends.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what's going on there. This team should be right there. I don't know why more people aren't talking about them as the favorite in the NFC. They should be there. I think you're probably right. I think it is Goff. But people might be surprised to hear the Goff stat line from last year when they went 15-2. 72.4% completions, 46-29, 8.6 an attempt. 8.6 an attempt. 37 touchdowns, 12 picks, a rating of 111.8. He hasn't had a rating under 90 since 2019. I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl with the Rams. He is, if you don't want to say he's in the top 5 or 6 in the league, fine, but he is absolutely the king of that next group that Baker Mayfield's in, that 8 to 12. Like, he's the leader of that one. He is absolutely a franchise quarterback.
After watching quarterback, he might be my favorite in the league just for his wife.
Well, he pitched a perfect game last season.
He did. He did pitch a perfect game last season. There's that part, too. All right, categories on the Lions. Fantasy sleeper. Hard to have one because we know everybody with them.
It is difficult to find one. I believe it's Tim Patrick, though, their third wide receiver. He's a guy that had some success in Denver before, and he's a guy that could get lost in the shuffle with all the weapons there. So to me, it's Tim Patrick.
Full disclosure, I don't play fantasy football, so take whatever advice I give you with the largest grain of salt you can possibly stomach. I wrote down Jamison Williams with a big question mark.
I thought about that.
Because, kind of?
J-Mo's got to have a full year, man. Like, he's got to, no injury.
But if he can, stay off the gambling.
Oh, for sure. Don't bet in the facility. Don't bet, period, if you're an NFL player. They kind of not big fans of that, but certainly not in the facility. Look, you know their guys. Everybody knows their guys. And a lot of them are going to get drafted. And I do remember when Laporta was a rookie and we had a Lions guy on, he's like, Laporta's going to be a stud, and he's been a stud. Do they have the right quarterback, Bake?
I sure think so. I'm a big believer in Jared Goff.
Yes.
Me too. Yeah. That's a hell of a sliding doors. Like, if he's, that's who the Browns wanted in the Wentz deal, and then the Rams went up to get him, and it's another one of those crazy sliding doors. But yeah, I think they do too, and I think he's disrespected. I think his career has been really, really good. Coolest player ever.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Scott Mitchell. Everybody knows
of
it's
course.
Scott Mitchell.
I knew you weren't going Barry Sanders.
Big deal when Scotty Mitchell got traded from Miami.
It's just too obvious for Detroit.
Number 20 for sure.
Megatron, but it's Barry.
Barry Sanders. So many people talk about Bo Jackson on Super Tecmo Bowl. I'm going to tell you what, Barry Sanders was right there. He was right there. You could not track him down. He's one of those guys that I think all of us have to do a good job of making sure that people are aware of him, because watching him play as a little kid was wonderful. Just in awe of what he could do.
I know people argue Jim Brown, and I never saw Jim Brown. Barry Sanders is the best, probably football player, but definitely running back I've ever seen in my life.
Well, it was just a very natural progression from Jim Brown to Walter Payton to Barry. Like, those are three of them. Like, whatever you want to make the Mount Rushmore of running backs, whoever you want the fourth to be, those, and it probably is Emmitt Smith, those three are three of them. I will give an honorable mention to Dick Night Train Lane. That is the best nickname in the history of sports. I don't even know what it means. Night Train?
You know it's cool, though.
But that's cool, man. Like, to call somebody Dick Night Train Lane is pretty damn cool. What is this team this year, Bake?
So, I'm still a big believer in the Lions, and I do think they are a Super Bowl favorite in the NFC. But I do think losing both of those coordinators, maybe more so Ben Johnson, hurts them. I also think Chicago has gotten a little better. Maybe Green Bay. I'm not sure if I'm a believer in them. I think Minnesota takes a step back, though. I think the Lions take a step back, too, in the regular season, at least this year. I've got them around 12-5.
Yeah, I had 12-5 as the record, but if this team doesn't make a Super Bowl appearance, like I said before, that's a disappointment.
Yeah, I kind of view, like, these teams that are elite. Like, I'll view the Ravens this way, the Bills this way when we get to them. Like, if you get to an AFC championship game, for those teams, I think they need to get through Kansas City. But I do think, like, Detroit playing in an NFC championship game, getting to a Super Bowl, that's, to me, how I'll judge them. I think that's the standard they should be held against. Franchise grade for the Leos.
So I think right now, with what they have going on, it's an A, but I think over the history of time, they're probably more like a B-.
Yeah, that might even be generous, because what they really were the team that we all had to sit and watch on Thanksgiving, waiting to get to the late game.
Yeah, overall, it's a C+, because they've had the best players, I think, arguably at the most exciting positions, and they don't have a Super Bowl to show for it.
Not even close.
No.
I mean,
they're going to both retire early.
Yes, they were done with the game.
Bad. Like, we quit rather than continue to play. They have two of the 15 coolest players of the last 40 years played there, but they don't have a whole lot to show for it. And they've had franchise quarterbacks. Like, they had Stafford for a long time. But it does feel like now is the time for them. And the question is, has the window closed or is it still open? Mac Dery, he's great. It's great having Matt on. I did a show with him about 10 years ago, I want to say. He will join us in 2 minutes for some perspective on the Lions and the division. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
1-800-GOT-JUNK does two things differently.
We repurpose a lot of the junk we haul away.
So the donatables get donated to a family that needs them, and the recyclables get recycled.
Your neighbors are happy, and the planet is healthy.
What's number 2?
We have enough trucks that we can come the day you call us.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is the world's largest junk removal service.
And that's good for your neighbors and for the planet.
And for you, because we can come the day you call us.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at tmobile.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's get some perspective on the Lions and the NFC North. This is a great dude, one of the best in the business. Matt Dery joining us, Locked On Lions on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Buddy, it's good to talk to you again. Let's just start with the way last season ended, the loss of the 2 coordinators. What was this offseason like in Detroit?
First off, what's up, Bo? Come on, man. You and me, man, back together.
How about that, buddy?
Good to hear your voice, my friend.
You too, man.
Yeah, you know, it's a crazy time here in Detroit because a lot of people are very confident and excited for the season. I mean, this is a 15-win football team, but again, you're right. You take a step back and you go and you peel it back a little bit. Losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, 2 of the top 5 coordinators in the game last year. Heck, it was voted on by the players. It was voted on by the media. Ben Johnson won Assistant Coach of the Year. So these are really, really good coaches you're losing. But I think the biggest thing is the loss of Frank Ragnow at center. Everybody could talk about the assistants, and I think John Morton will be fine. I think Kelvin Shepard, actually the new D coordinator, will be good. But losing Ragnow just as your horse, the guy that snaps the football, that touches the football every down at center is going to be the biggest loss, in my opinion, and something to keep an eye on.
The way that last season was managed and the way that the injuries stacked as it went along. Obviously, the team they intended that they were going to be at the end, they weren't because of all the injuries that happened. Have you noticed a change at all in camp this year? Did Dan Campbell make any adjustments going into this year? Felt like 15-2 meant a lot to them last year to have that number 1 overall seed, but there was a cost to it as well, wasn't there?
No, there was, and because they got so banged up and the defense was depleted, I mean, by the end of the year, you had Aiden Hutchinson out, Aleem McNeil out, Davenport, a bunch of corners. Carlton Davis was your top corner. He was out. And you were playing that playoff game against Jaden Daniels and the Commanders basically with one hand tied behind your back. I mean, it was that type of situation. Last year, the Lions were very transparent, whether it was Brad Holmes, the GM, Dan Campbell, the head coach. They said it. We want to be the number 1 seed. We want all roads leading to the Super Bowl to go through Ford Field. We want a week off, and they accomplished that. They went 15-2. They had the best record in football this year. They're kind of saying it. We want to get in the tournament. We just want to get in there. We don't care if we're on the road, home, whatever. So they know, too. I mean, Bo, you look at the schedule, I mean, the first 4 road games at Green Bay, at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, and at Kansas City. None of those, by the way, are at 1 o'clock. I mean, you got a bunch of night games in there, and then 4:25. So this is a gauntlet for them. So I think they're looking at it like, yeah, we wanted to win the division, but is 11-6 more realistic? 10-7, and you get in, but then you're more battle tested, and if you're healthy, I think that's kind of their approach right now.
Why is it? How do folks up there? How do you view Jared Goff? Because I look at like what he does. I mean, he pitched a perfect game, and he had this 72% completions, 8.5 an attempt. I mean, this is elite stuff. How is he viewed by you? How's he viewed by the fan base?
Fan base loves him. I mean, obviously that playoff game 2 years ago against the Rams where Stafford came back and the crowd 2 hours before is chanting Jared Goff the whole time. And they wanted that win for him. And then the fans love him. There are certainly pockets of the fan base that watch Jared Goff in games where he's not protected great, or the playoff game when he threw a pick six, and they go, oh, man, we wish we had a Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson or even a Burrow or somebody like that that can move just a little bit more. Goff is not great, obviously, on the move. And this year will be tested with 3 new offensive linemen. I mean, Graham Glasgow is going to move over to center, but you're going to have a new left guard, a new right guard. And so, but still, he's very, very good to great. I mean, he was a top 5 MVP finalist last year. And I think given time, given that play action game going, Montgomery and Gibbs running that football, I still say he's the best quarterback in the division, and I think he'll be just fine. And he's got plenty of weapons around him, certainly with St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta. I mean, this offense will still be very, very good, no question.
Yeah, I look at the roster, and I just think, to me, and you hear when people talk NFC, there's obviously Eagles defending champs. I get it. A lot of juice for the Rams right now. They seem to be like everybody's darling. But I look at this, and I feel like at times this team is kind of slept on. You mentioned the Ragnow stuff at center and the coordinator stuff, maybe not as concerning. But to me, it looks like they ought to be right there at the top of this division and right there to the end. And then it's just a matter of, do you trust Campbell and Goff to get you there? Because every other box to me looks checked. If there are potholes, where do you see them popping up?
I mean, the interior of the defensive line right now is banged up. I mean, Aleem McNeil is a very, very good nose tackle / D tackle, and I think you're not going to see him until probably the Vikings game in Week 9. That's November 2nd. Josh Paschal is hurt. Tyleik Williams is just a rookie, of course, from Ohio State, who I think is going to be good, but, how good is he going to be? He was drafted 28th. He wasn't drafted 8th. This is not like Sewell or Hutchinson. But I think I like him, but I think they're going to be a little bit thin on the interior of the D-line to start the year with injuries. Makai Wingo's another one that's out right now. But I like like you said, the roster's loaded, and they've got guys back. Hutchinson coming back. You got the 2 best safeties in the game in terms of a tandem, and Joseph and Brian Branch. So I like the team a lot. Again, schedule's going to be hard. Division's tough, no question. I mean, even the last place team that people think is Chicago, there's plenty of folks that think Ben Johnson can take them to the playoffs. So it's not going to be easy, but like you said, there's just so much talent here. And what if a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs takes the next step and becomes the best running back in football? He can. St. Brown is elite. Jamison Williams can be really special. So there's plenty there, but how do they block up front on the interior of the O-line, and can they get enough pressure, interior pressure, on the D-line? Those are question marks, at least right now.
We were talking about the 2 teams we did today were the Bears and, of course, the Lions. And so you mentioned Ben Johnson. As you observed him the last couple of years, because you look at that Bears roster, and it's just question mark at quarterback, but everything else looks pretty good. What type of impact do you think he will have on that roster in Chicago? And do you think he's up for what this is? I mean, he waited his time. He could have had a job the last couple of years, but he waited for the right circumstance and felt this one was it.
I mean, I think Ben Johnson's a great, great coordinator. The question is what about head coach? And from everybody that I've talked to in Chicago, they're just gaga over this guy and how great he is. I think he knows how good he is, and I think there's a little ego there. The spats in the offseason with Matt LaFleur, taking a few pot shots, even if he was joking, at Jared Goff and the Lions. I think a little bit of a come down and come uppance is coming for the Bears and for Ben Johnson. There's so many people saying Chicago's a playoff team. Chicago, are they? This is the Bears we're talking about here. Look at their history and how bad they've been. I think next year's year you go, man, Ben Johnson's really put his stamp on it. I think 2026 is more, real, in my opinion. I mean, they're asking a lot out of Caleb Williams here, and how good is he? Colston Loveland, they're comparing Colston Loveland like he's Kellen Winslow. Like, slow down. So I think there's a little bit of that there, but I also think, yes, from a strategic standpoint, scheme on offense, they're going to be good. But I think there's still going to be some issues end of games there that I don't trust. And in this division, I mean, Minnesota is so well coached. The Lions are well coached. I know people think Dan Campbell's some meathead. Dan Campbell's a damn good coach, and Green Bay wins every year. It's not going to be as easy as I think some Bears fans think.
Do you kind of view it as you handicap the division, Detroit at the top, and then kind of how do you have it those next three?
I mean, there's days, Bo, that I look up and I go, man, Green Bay's got so much young talent, and if Jordan Love can play like the Jordan Love in that Dallas playoff game 2 years ago, look out. And then there's other days I say, wait a minute, Minnesota won 14 games last year. They did it with Sam Darnold, okay? And Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores running that defense. Those are elite coaches, man. I truly believe that. I think the Vikings are I don't think they're winning 14 games. Heck, I don't think the Lions are winning 15. But I still like those teams. So I kind of flip-flop on 2 and 3 in that division. I still think Chicago finishes 4th, but will be right around 500. So it's a really good division. They're playing the AFC North this year, so you'll see plenty of them. And the Lions got to play the Rams on the road. You mentioned them before. They got to play the Ravens. So it's not going to be easy. At the Eagles, at the Commanders, night games. Those are going to be tough games.
Yeah, the national spotlight is going to shine bright. Certainly, one of the things we do, I'll get you out of here on this. We do some categories on all these teams, and we did coolest player to ever wear the jersey. And I assume it's Barry. That feels like kind of a layup. But if it's not Barry, who is it?
Wow, coolest player to ever wear a Lions jersey. Well, the Lions fans love Chris Spielman. And I know I'm right in your wheelhouse there in Columbus. I mean, they just love the guy, and he's done such a great job kind of behind the scenes in the front office. Calvin Johnson was super cool. Everybody loved Calvin, too, and Herman Moore before him. But, yeah, Barry Sanders is still – and you know what? Billy Sims was cool. I mean, I wasn't here in the 80s, but, man, if he would have stayed healthy, people would be talking about him more. But, Lions have a decent history. It's not, Green Bay or even Chicago in the Super Bowl, but they're getting there. And the fans love Dan Campbell. I mean, talk about a cool guy that just – is in the community and people adore. It's crazy how he's become the face of Detroit sports.
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, and you think about and I know Spielman obviously very well. I know John Dorsey very well, and he fits right in that mix too. Like they're just really likable dudes who love ball.
Totally. And give Chris a lot of credit, and even Dorsey too. Those guys had elevated public roles. Chris was obviously doing shows in your town, and he was doing Fox, and he came to Detroit, and he's like, I am not the GM. I'm going to help hire the GM, and I'm going to stay out of the way. He doesn't want to be interviewed. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight. He doesn't want to be shown on TV, but he has a hand in a lot of what goes on. And John Dorsey is a former GM. Easily, I think, could have become a GM again, but I think he's stayed in Detroit now the last 3 or 4 years because he loves what's being built there, and he helps out as an assistant GM and personnel guy, and it's a good group that they've built here, which for Detroit, as you know, Bo, is unthinkable because the Lions have been so bad for so long. I mean, Matt Millen, the worst general manager in NFL history, was here in Detroit. Bob Quinn, who ran the Lions, was atrocious and hired Matt Patricia and kept Matt Patricia. So there's been a poor history here, but the last 3 years have been a magic carpet ride for these Lions fans.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's great talking to you again, buddy. Thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate you.
All right, Bo. Great to catch up.
All right, there he goes. Matt Dery, locked on the Detroit Lions, joining us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Get you 3 things on a Friday. Up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Ready? This Ohio State football training camp report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Weber Grills.
Ohio State football. training camp report.
This report is brought to you statewide by Safelite Auto Glass and Bob's Discount Furniture. The new look that everybody's anxious to see, whether it looks new or not, will be Ohio State's defense with new defensive coordinator Matt Patricia.
When I get the scripts sometimes and we're scripting, and one of the things is we went really from like OTA summer workouts right into camp. Yeah. So I don't feel like in the NFL you have that break and then everyone's coming back trying to get in mode. We're kind of just keep pushing through. But I would say when I'm looking at a 7-on-7 script, we got like 38 plays on it, and in the NFL we're like 12. But, you have all the players. You want to get all the groups out there and get those reps. You're trying to get everybody a chance to get better. So I totally get it. But that's the biggest thing when you look at the practice schedule with the plays, and we're still building. Like that was day one. We got day two. It's going to keep going. Sometimes I think we're going to get to the end of the week. That's more plays than I probably ran in a week of training camp.
We'll have more after this.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, flexible financing to fit your budget, and fast, friendly delivery. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com. Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
One area that new Ohio State defensive coordinator Matt Patricia is going to have to oversee is the battle going on at the safety spot opposite Caleb Downs, a battle between Malik Hartford and Jalen McClain.
Two players, I think, that had really great springs and then carried that over into the summer. Guys that are learning kind of multiple different roles in the safety position, and really leadership is the biggest part. As you know, look, if you play safety, communication is number one, right? You have to get everybody lined up. You got to control your side of the field. You got to make sure you're communicating out to the corners. Those guys are really far away. That kind of maturity that we were able to see in the spring and the summer with those two back there, it just makes you feel comfortable, right? I mean, you're in the back part of that defense. You see everything in front of you, and you want to make sure that you know where everybody's going so that you can go play fast and aggressive. And I thought that's what they did a great job of. So the physical part of it right now, we got to get out in the field and see all that come to life. But the communication and really that leadership in the back part, that was great.
This is Paul Keels on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
We've had an incredible year, Buckeyes fans. It's time to celebrate the offseason with warmer weather, long nights, and incredible grilled food. Weber Grills has everything you need to have a winning summer. From our newest line of Spirit gas grills to our award-winning Searwood wood pellet and slate griddle grill, Weber Grills is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn more at Weber.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Come into your local AAA Tire and Auto Service and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. Only at AAA Tire and Auto Service. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid August 1st through August 30th. See store for details.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
Reese, I was trying to think, is it possible, because Matt Dery and I did one show together.
Uh-huh.
Were you on the board for it?
I don't think so. I don't remember doing a show with the both of you. I remember board-opping shows with Matt and then board-opping Saturday college football shows with you, but
yeah.
I don't think it was ever you two were together. It might have been you were like filling in maybe in the mornings.
Yeah, this has been like old home week for me. Like you get Klosky yesterday and then you get Dery today. Like these, I mean, that's fantastic. Yeah. All right. What do you got on the poll today?
The Daily Fan poll asks, does Shedeur Sanders starting at quarterback tonight for the Browns make you more likely to watch their game against the Panthers? 60% of you say yes.
I was going to watch it anyway. But yeah, I mean, aren't you curious? I think everybody is.
We're probably the wrong three to ask, considering it wouldn't matter who they started at quarterback tonight. I'm still watching.
Yeah, even if you didn't have a tie to the Browns, just from a preseason experience, this is the most curious the whole league's going to be to see how it goes.
And listen, for us, like not nationwide, right? Because this is on NFL Network, and I think Shedeur just draws people's eyes. But even if it's Dylan Gabriel, it's interesting, I believe. So
yeah, he's a different level. But I'm very curious to see what it looks like. All right, time for three things on a Friday.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number one for me, it is amazing how what kids want changes year after year. I am probably 18 months, 2 years removed from when it came to sneakers. It was so specific that like at Christmas, I would be on StockX having to get this exact shoe as the one thing that they asked for Christmas. And now with sneakers, we just did back to school shopping for the sneakers. None of them cared. None of them. Just get us some running shoes, Dad. It's fine. And so basically what's in now with the kids are all of the things, old man running shoes, like New Balance, chunky Nikes, those type of shoes. And then like even like Reebok and all of this. And then like Birkenstocks. Like, that's what they want to wear. 2 years ago, we had to have this Jordan and then this colorway. Now, none of it matters.
I wondered if camp last week, having met your boys, if I'd been wearing my Birkenstocks, maybe they would have changed their thought on it. Like, wow, those are the least cool things ever. But, man, a good pair of Birkenstocks can last you forever. That'll become my first thing.
I'll never understand.
They'll last you forever, and the materials are such that where if, like, one thing goes out, you can go to a good cobbler, and you can get them repaired for cheaper than it would be to buy a new pair of Birkenstocks. One pair could last you more than a decade. They're great.
My wife threw a pair.
No.
I had the clogs and the sandals. She threw them both away in one of our moves. And guess what I now have to buy? I'm like, I had all of this.
Yep.
I had all of this.
Because when you get like your foot formed into a Birkenstock, like that's a special thing.
It's a special place, yeah.
I feel like Birkenstocks and Crocs, two things I will never understand.
I got a nice pair of Crocs, too.
Kids love both of those, too. They love Crocs, too.
Ever understand.
Comfortable.
My first thing comes from the Department of Corrections on us, and this is on me. Shame on me for not knowing that Connor Hellebuck was the Hart Trophy winner this year. So not only the Vezina Trophy for the Winnipeg goaltender, but he won the Hart as well and was well deserving of it.
All right, number two for me, 8th grade football is about to get real. They're full pads and they're full contact today. So NBC, who grew like 6 inches in the last year, is pretty jacked up to go get people. And so it's all getting pretty real pretty quick. I think he's got a scrimmage next Saturday. A lot of the high schools are scrimmaging today and tomorrow. So football is here, kids, in every possible way.
Speaking of hitting people, the running backs have been available to speak with Ohio State reporters following today's practice. James Peoples says he refers to himself and C.J. Donaldson as Sonic and Knuckles. Peoples says he's Sonic in that equation, while C.J. is Knuckles. And from Donaldson, quote, I do the dirty work, end quote.
I also saw he mentioned Serveld and Philip Daniels as two offensive linemen that have stood out this training camp, so maybe That's why Sarabelt has moved over to the left side. First thing for me, I thought it was really cool last night seeing Marshawn Lynch on the sidelines as a photographer. And then the Seattle running back, I can't remember his name, scores the touchdown, and Marshawn Lynch throws the forearm at him and bodies him up to help save himself from getting hit there on the end zone line. I thought that was really cool. Marshawn Lynch, such an interesting dude. Love seeing him do that.
Number 3 for me, this is the God's honest truth. I have no idea how it's going to go for Shedeur Sanders tonight. I couldn't even tell you what it's going to look like. I think they're going to put him in a lot of positions to succeed. I think he's going to be in shotgun a lot. But what it reminds us is what's so beautiful about sports, and that is hope. There's always hope that if you land the right quarterback, if you draft the right guy, and the first time getting to see him in a jersey is always an exciting time, and that's never going to get lost no matter what happens tonight, that there is a lot of fun in hope in sports.
All downhill from here.
I mean, third thing for me, it's so cool, I think, what the Browns have the opportunity to do tonight with Shedeur starting at quarterback. I'm thrilled that he's going to get this opportunity, and I hope they give him all 4 quarters. There's going to be a lot of struggle, but if he can go in at half or even in between quarters and they can make adjustments, that gives you hope for things to come in the future, possibly with this quarterback position. It's the damn preseason. Nobody really knows anything.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what makes it kind of fun, at least for the first week. But Pat Murphy from Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports are going to do the Saturday Spectacular tomorrow from 10 to 1 on The Fan. So we'll be breaking down Browns, Panthers, as well as other things in sport.
Final thing for me, Rothman and Ice are loaded up this afternoon. They'll have Ben Axelrod on. They'll talk to Jensen Lewis as well about the Guardians and the Reds. And it is a full 3 hours of Kingdom. Adam King is in for Matty Ice.
Enjoy that, kids. You have that going for you, which is nice. We are back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan.
Want to get 30% stronger in just 8 weeks? Then GNC Amp Whey Bollock is your protein. From America's #1 protein powder brand for building strength, Amp Whey Bollock delivers ultra-pure, fast-digesting whey protein packed with 6.2 grams of leucine for faster gains in muscle growth and recovery. If you want more out of every workout, then settle for nothing less than a premium formula that's third-party tested for over 285 banned substances and proven to get you stronger, faster. Go to your local GNC for Whey Bollock and get ready for gains.
Here's Comedians and Sketchers Getting Comfortable, presented by Hands-Free Skechers Slip-Ins.
Hey, I'm Bobby Slayton, and I'm here with my pal, comedian, and Skechers ambassador, Mr. Howie Mandel.
Why did it take so long to invent something as amazing as slip-ins? I know it seems simple, but it took Skechers to invent a better pair of shoes.
Yep, with Skechers Slip-Ins, you just step in and go. You don't have to touch your shoes. And by the way, Slip-Ins are for the whole family, men, women, and kids, in all your favorite Skechers styles. Find Skechers Slip-Ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Stay hydrated. It's hot out there. So my teenage son just went out in sweatpants and a hoodie. It's 98 degrees. At least I know he'll be cool in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge. Get too hot?
Hey, my phone.
Oh, your phone. Should've known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep